giant leap for mankind.
Terrific. Terrific.
Hell yeah.
Um,
I need to.
oh,
Go to my map. There we go. Yay. It is now on the landing screen for Roll20,
oh
so you guys will be able to see it.
oh my god.
Yeah. And I didn't, so I didn't make the entire thing myself. I actually did find it on Reddit, so I need to put a little thing in the bottom of it to say like courtesy of whatever. All I did was the put all the like pictures and stuff in, but all like the major like set pieces is that I just did all of the like artwork for the map, and the characters are from the Baldur's Gate character creator.
So if I go to Roll20 real quick and
Yeah. You could also just have that and do like a screen share from your end if that's easier for you.
oh, do I go to content?
It should be. Oh, I have to drag you guys over to it. All right, here we go. That should update if you hit refresh on Roll20. If you load into the campaign.
Launch. Hatching dragons. Yo, that looks so good. That looks so good.
Right?
All right, hold
I
on.
need to, yeah, I need to update the legend and stuff.
Oh my god, that looks so cool. All right, insert browser.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just.
I gotta tweak, I think, some of the character art for you guys whenever you figure out what Grog wants to look like, because I can actually, Grog currently is a composite, and so is Rock, actually, of two different character models.
Well, so I didn't realize that. Because I tried to make that. Oh, does it want me to fucking authenticate? Yeah, I'm not a human, I promise. Or I am a human. Interact.
I'm not, whoa,
Whoa,
oh no,
I'm an
I'm not
alien.
a human. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get a bagel real quick,
Okay.
but this is a headphone that I can walk around with, so I can
Oh, hell yeah.
talk instead of the cabled one. Um, but yeah, basically the whole thing with the character art
Yep.
is if we ever want to do a just like dick around
Mm-hmm.
uh session where one of us hosts or either of us host, and then uh we can basically like screen share and have the rest of the gang uh do like the um there's a way you can do it with Google,
Yep.
so that you can actually like control the screen and let the others basically like play Baldur's Gate remotely and make their character in the character creator.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it'll be a hinky little setup, but set some time aside at some point, and then just basically do a hangout while they spend like an hour in the character
That's so
creator.
cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Image.
What platform are you playing on? Are you on console? Because you're
Yeah.
using a controller.
Mm-hmm. I'm on
Okay,
console
so you're playing on
PvP.
Xbox.
Yep.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah. I'm on PC, so I have uh obviously I have access to mods and stuff, and I was like, I don't know what the button controls are for the stuff that you're doing.
Dude, let me tell you what, it was a challenge to have so Lettuce in the
Oh yeah, yeah.
chat last night. He plays that game like religiously, and
Oh, I mean,
um
same.
and he was like, I don't know like what the control is to do this, and I'm like, I gotta just figure it out.
Yeah, that is the biggest thing.
It's pretty easy like once you figure it out. I wish the combat on console was a little easier because it's a lot of like moving weapon wheels and or action wheels and stuff like that.
Yeah, that I was watching that and I'm like, oh my God, you have no idea. You're low level right now, but once you're up with like
Oh, I can
your
only
casters
imagine.
who have I have like a full button bar that I have
Mm-hmm.
to like move their cantrips and shit around when I get new spells,
Yep.
just for my clarity. I have no idea what it's gonna be like when you're 12th level and you have
Oh God.
truly like you have all your class abilities, uh, all of your cantrips and all of your spells in one uh
It's yeah.
in one slot. It's crazy.
It's
So
gonna.
you're gonna be flipping through a lot of fucking radial.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna be like, okay, where's the spell? Where's the spell? No, no, no. That's a cantrip. Oh, that's first level. I gotta go. Yeah.
Although I do like the way that they have your inventory screen set up.
Oh, is it different?
Yeah, because fucking PC, it's the screen real estate for the like full party inventory is completely different. You
Mm-hmm.
have the like full character art and like all of their stats on different tabs, but you have the character in like the middle. And so their inventories are basically like two-thirds of it is the character with like their inventory slots like around them, sort of the
Mm-hmm.
classic RPG. So you swap stuff in, you can see the
Really weird.
on um, Xbox,
Mm-hmm.
but truly I'm like almost 200 hours in
Holy shit.
uh, on my second. So this is I my first playthrough was like 100-ish hours.
Wow.
Um, Second playthrough that I'm doing, I'm at like 30-ish,
Mm-hmm.
much much faster because I actually like know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't like at this point I don't believe I've TPK'd. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, dude, died with a full party. I played vanilla, so I played like what you're doing my
Mm-hmm.
first run. No mods or anything because I was like, I'll do the basic shit
Mm-hmm.
just to get the full experience. And then I came back with like mods so that I could do like I could try out Artificer. I could do some like character customization
Mm.
um, stuff and get like different looks for these things. Because I was like, all right, Lazel, you're great, but I can't romance a frog. I need
I can't do it.
I need a cuter face for your character model. So yeah, I got a lady on mod where she looks a little bit more human.
I ended last night because like um what's how do you pronounce
Asterion?
Asterion? Like from the first time I met him, I know
Hmm.
nothing about this game. I can only
Yep.
make assumptions. I
Yeah,
have
you're going in blind, which is fucking rad.
yeah, I have no idea what's happening. I've seen like the trailers and like some like I know that like you can sex up some of your companions or whatever. Like I know that, but other than that,
Hmm.
I have no idea what's happening. Asterion, I know for a fact just the initial time I met him, he is 100% a vampire. I have no idea what's happening, but I just like the first
Yep.
time I met him, like this dude is fucked. Like I know something is up with him. Like they don't hide it really well. But and then I was like, you know what? Maybe.
I mean, you can see the marks on his neck. Like
Oh, I didn't even notice them. I saw the
it's they're right there.
really? Okay, today when I play, I'm gonna fucking just zoom and enhance because the only thing that I
You
really
you don't
noticed.
even have to do that. It's like they're right there. They're very visible scars.
Really? Oh my god, I'm
Yeah.
so oblivious. I
Yeah.
I looked at his eyes, obviously, because like they're fucking blood red, and I was like, okay, not like this game. I don't know. I had all of this knowledge of D&D and fantasy and like all of this shit, and then I immediately played this game and I lost all of it.
Yeah.
And like I saw his
Well,
teeth,
the thing
and I'm like, okay, he's got
yeah, yeah.
fangs. Man, I'm so dumb. I can't believe I.
It's all good, man. So the crazy thing that of course I didn't recognize that like people are like, "Oh, he's very pale and he looks weird." But the thing is
Yes.
elves, they have weird colored eyes, like they have like tan and like purple and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And drow elves are actually the ones that have like will have what we consider like weird color eyes. They'll have like purple and red.
Mm.
So seeing an elf that just has red eyes, it's not necessarily like, oh shit, they're evil. It's like, oh, you probably have like drow blood
Yep.
somewhere. Um, so it's like you might have uh, just like elves or half elves, like drow elves that are drow half elves or drow that have red eyes. Like those are
Interesting.
not uncommon. So although people do look weird, it's like there's weird lore stuff that they don't hit on for like cultural
Mm-hmm.
things that you just go in and you're just like, fucking, all right, Faerun is
Okay.
weird shit, but it's just like totally normal for people there. They're just kind of like, yeah, it's whatever.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, so it's not, they're, obviously there's stuff where it's like, this dude has fangs, and yeah, yeah, that's pretty easy to tell. But press it, oh, I'll come back into the camera. So you look like this when you're talking the whole time. Because you don't have the full lips to make all of like the ooh and ah
Right.
sounds. So you're just doing like this the whole time, which
Oh.
makes it easier when you have a dragon who shapeshifts into a humanoid, so
Mm.
they can like interact. But then if it's like a full dragon and you sound kind of guttural like this, because they have this long tongue that sticks out.
I
Um,
love.
yeah, it's a fun thing experimenting with like, oh, what does your voice sound like
Mm-hmm.
if you have tusks or like you don't have flat teeth, which like the th sound, like to make a th,
Right.
the way that your mouth shape fits,
Mm-hmm.
you just can't do that if all you have is fangs.
You
It
can't
just
do that.
yeah, it just sounds it wouldn't sound right. But of course, like if you're a human a person, you can approximate it
Hmm.
sort of. Um, but yeah, these are just the weird things that I think about as a GM, um, about like weird cultural stuff.
No, I would. I mean, I fucked around with like what I thought I wanted Grog to sound like. I mean,
Mhm.
originally when he was a barbarian, and I feel like when people usually play barbarians, they think that they're very stupid and very like
Yeah,
one
like int
dimensional.
is your dump stat, so
Yeah. So I was like, man, maybe I'll just go and I'll follow that trope. And now where he's going to be a paladin, I think I got to make him a little more educated. I mean, he can still be dumb and make dumb decisions. Um,
yeah. But if you're going like the oath route,
yeah.
where you're just like, all right, I'm the path of like vengeance. My God has decreed me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he has said like, be my sword. Um, I'm like you've broken the werebear curse on yourself. This is sort of like your new path as Grog.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely would make sense to be like, all right, the characterization can change
Yeah.
because we very much at this. I mean, like obviously this is something like in a meta sense with the adventure. Now that you're leaving sort of like the whimsy and like wild stuff. You've learned that like what you're going up against is a way bigger threat to a guy who's like threatening the city or whatever. The Warforged, and it's like sort of low stakes. Um, and so now it definitely makes sense to be like, oh, I guess we got to knuckle down and be more serious because this is a big threat.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, you guys are now the ones. It's just like, oh, um, hey, I know it's been like 1,000 years since we've had heroes that like save the world. So it'd be great if you could kind of step up and do that,
Yeah. Hey, can you do this thing
please.
for us?
Yeah. It's like I know this isn't really your bag, but also you're kind of the only people.
You're all we've got.
Yeah, it's like you're the ones that we have to rely on. I know you're just a bunch of fucking weirdo strangers that just rocked up. Um, and you have like a tiger and a bunch of like crazy magical shit around you. Because adventurers are sort of rare in this day and age,
Mm-hmm.
especially ones that can like do magic. Uh, so it's something that you guys haven't experienced a whole lot, but once you go back to the material plane,
Mm-hmm.
um, that will be the thing where it's just like, oh shit, we've heard of you guys.
We know who
Um,
you are.
yeah, I'm honestly very excited to see how you guys go about with the stronghold. Um, just to sort of like keep vamping while we're waiting on
Ooh,
Haley.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So there's basically a thing called the right of reclamation,
Mm-hmm.
where if you clear out like an old elven uh, fortress or like tomb or whatever, you basically have a claim to all of the loot that's there, or you forfeit the like um,
Oh.
it's sort of like winning the lottery. It's like, do you take everything right now, or
Mm-hmm.
do you give up the stuff to invest in becoming a lord and you have this like ruin that becomes your keep? So it's sort of like what you guys who are from the material plane and sort of that's something with Aaliyah
Mm-hmm.
will look for is like we'll find a ruin that we can clear out, but then one of you has to be the lord or lady um, or scion,
Yeah.
uh, basically would be the gender neutral title of this new keep and pledge fealty to the baron or like petty king um, of that province. So then suddenly one of you is just like fully elevated because you cleared out a castle. Um, so that's a fun part of the strongholds.
Dude,
It's like,
I can't wait.
yeah, you end up somewhere where it's like either you get like because you guys mentioned that you wanted like a sort of full home base, so it's like okay, there's gonna be like elven uh, keeps that you could clear out that has like bandits in them, and then you basically just go to the local lord and say, hey, we're gonna take care of this, and we're gonna forfeit all of the treasure and we'll take the thing and this is the person who's going to be our um the lord or lady, and it's basically just straight up you sign a contract and they send basically an auditor with you, so you just have like a dude with a clipboard who's
Can
just
we
like
have one of
okay,
those?
yeah, you basically have a guy who's like if you're not like nobility you just have a dude who's like okay, you're just a bunch of fucking rando adventurers, I'm here to be like basically your proto steward, uh, who's going to be like sort of like your court assigned lawyer. It's just like the every kingdom or like every barony has
Oh yeah.
these people on retainer who's just like, all right, this fucking dude cleared out a tower that had some like whatever wolves in it, and he's not
Mm-hmm.
giving up the tower, or he's gonna give up the thing. So you're just like, fucking we just have this random guy, we need to send one of our people here to be like okay, you're nobility now, congratulations. um but it's basically a dude that gets sent with you to be like okay, I'm gonna check it off, here's all the treasure. Basically it's like you kill everyone in there, and then this dude just kind of walks in and is like okay, I'm basically like auditing all of the treasure that's in here, uh we're gonna take all of this you get like a percentage of that, and they're like, okay, good luck rebuilding your castle.
Yeah. All right, this gold statue that you found is worth 500 gold pieces, and you will get 50 gold pieces.
Yeah, so it's
Oh.
basically like it's going to be like you'll get like a stupid amount of gold, but then because it's so expensive to do this, they're sort of making this investment in you where it's like instead of all of like the magical items and treasure and shit, it's
Mhm.
like okay, we'll send like a mason to start. And so this will be the sort of thing where you like roll on the stronghold
Hmm.
table to
Yep.
be like who's like assigned to you just like people that show up when it's like, hey, saw a posting that you guys need a fucking mason because there's a ruin. Uh, heard of you guys. You seem pretty legit. Or for the whoever like does the thing, you have different people. So you'd have like for Azealia, she'll have like a skinwalker
Mhm.
who's like, ah, yes, I'm this strange woman who can transform into like cats and fish and strange things. But
Can we
I
have an
heard the
application process for these people?
it's straight up. I have a table that I have to modify, but it's from the strongholds and followers. Uh, very excited for that to be like a weird part of the thing where you guys have to do your downtime where it's like ah shit we have to like run.
Ah, shit.
It's like ah okay we have to run this stuff until because we're not like running from place to place now. We're not like trying to escape the law. It's like okay we got to like figure out we're going up against this cult and then you guys peace out and go on an adventure. Um,
So,
it's sort of
like,
how it works in the future arc.
oh my god. So, obviously, the Cluebridge Six are wanted by authorities, and I think every.
You're I to specify you are wanted in one country. You
Okay.
are wanted in Glassau,
Mm-hmm.
but you have a reputation um, of being like you blew up a thing and killed a bunch of guards and are like wanton destruction and reckless use of magic
Mm-hmm.
around civilians. So it's like you have a certain reputation, but of course, like news travels
Mm.
differently. So it's like I have basically like a table that I'm gonna roll on where it's like each person, I'll be like, all right, how do they feel about it? And it's like, oh yeah, I heard you did X, and you're just like, it's not.
It's not. It's not true at all.
That's not what happened.
It's not.
It's like no, there weren't 70 guards that we killed, but we saved like an orphanages. Like no, there weren't. It was a birthday festival, and they were like,
It's
"You were at a giant birthday party, and then a ship crashed," and I was like,
not our fault. Not our
"Nope,
fault.
that wasn't us."
It wasn't us.
Again, evil pirate did that, not us.
My question is, how much gold would it be to clear our bounty? I would clear our name.
So the crazy thing that you got, it's partially on me and partially on them, but I tried to have the captain when he was like, "You can just pay the fine, and I won't have to book you."
Oh
And
shit!
all of you and it was kind of like in the moment I tried to be like, hey, like you killed a bunch of kind of like scoundrels and just saved the city. I'll try and get you guys out of this if you agree to pay this fine. And all you guys were like, no, it wasn't us. And he was just like,
Are you
all right.
sure?
And so that was the whole thing where it was like they pulled you in and you saw him, the captain who like you all tried to lie to, failed the deception check. And so then he went over to explain it, and I was like, "What do you guys do?" And you're like, "We escape the ship and we get on and leave." Um, and it's truly, I was gonna roll like a D100 for that, or like a D10,
Yeah.
and be like, "Okay, uh, this is like it's gonna be like multiplied by 100
Mm-hmm.
for each person that you killed, and then it's like a percentage of like destruction of property." Because you killed 3 were rats was the big thing. But
Yep.
they're like, hey, we investigated the crime scene. you killed 3 residents, which is like not allowed.
Hey.
So it's basically like a few hundred gold to kill a person who's not like nobility.
Yep.
It's basically gonna be the thing, but it's like it's 300 gold a piece for each of the were rats that you killed because they were not sort of like second class citizens. If you had killed like an artisan or killed a noble or a wizard,
Yep.
much more expensive.
Oh my god.
But to murder like a low life,
Look, they
yeah,
cheated. They cheated,
they did, yeah.
and I got to kill them.
Yep. And then a couple of you were wanted because they saw your faces, and that's actually part of because you're in this magical city. They there's divination magic to like look into someone's memories. So they have these images of you. Obviously, Zephyrus and Rock are kind of like the meta senses of what they look like, but they have like realistic renderings of you from the people who have seen you. Because the Mage Guard have fucking wizards that can just like pull images from memory, and then project it, and then have like artists recreate it, and then sort of magically reproduce the image. It's just like
God damn it.
your wanted posters look very much like really nice like headshots.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Unmistakable then.
Yeah, so it's really easy to be like, "Oh, hey, I've seen your photo. Are you famous?"
Are you famous?
It's like
Yes.
I've seen you somewhere. Um,
It's Haley.
it's Haley.
Also, real
Final
quick,
lady.
it's Hadnot in the chat, baby. What's good?
Hey.
Oh, it's Hadnot.
It's
Oh,
Hadnot.
hey.
Local hero,
You mean Parker?
baby.
Yeah.
My boy from Virginia.
Oh, sweet. That's good. I'm gonna go. My French press is probably brewing at this point. I'll let you fill in Haley and all the wacky stuff that I just
Already did
gave you a
it.
little peek.
I did
I gave
it.
you a little peek behind the screen about what happened in Cluebridge,
Oh, okay.
what could have happened in Cluebridge. But I'm gonna dip out for just a minute while I get my coffee.
Okay. All right. Do you want the abridged version or chapter 1?
How long did it take Daniel? Because it's gonna take you twice as long.
So we've been going for about 35 minutes.
Yeah.
No, basically, how do I put this? So we did talk a lot about like the
This is what they did when we had the power outage.
this is what who did
Gang.
what?
Oh no, I'm gonna give you guys that recap together. That's where we're gonna start.
Oh yeah, no, this isn't the recap, I promise.
Oh, okay.
No, this was meta stuff that Seth and I were talking
Yeah, I
about.
was like, you did it without me?
No, I promise we didn't. We just talked a lot about the strongholds, and Daniel talked about how like with a stronghold, like they will manage like all of the treasures and loot and stuff like that that we get, and we basically have like an auditor. And while he was talking about that, the one image that kept coming to my brain was the like assistant in Mulan with the clipboard. No, the guy that helped the king.
Oh, that guy.
The
Yeah,
asshole.
yeah.
I just kept thinking of him, just saying like, "All right, you put that treasure over there, you sir."
Yeah.
And just like while he was talking, I was like, I can only see this man, and I wanted to ask if we could bring him along with our adventures, and like maybe he rolls initiative with us when we're in.
Oh my god.
He takes the hide action
I think
every turn.
He's our like managerial assistant.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We've gotten so big now, Daniel. We need assistance.
Yeah. Well, and that was another thing too, is that because we are nationally famous by local law enforcement. Um and I basically asked how much it would have cost
Yeah.
to like clear our names. Because like when we left, and I guess I didn't really pick up on this until Daniel told me, but the like captain was like, "Hey," and Daniel really tried to like sneak this in there before we did what we did. He was like, "If
Yeah.
you just pay the fine, we can clear all this up."
No.
But we basically said no and jumped aboard the ship. And then, of course, like when my character was introduced, what was the first fucking thing we did? We've murked 3 people.
Yeah. Whose fucking fault was that?
Daniel,
Excuse me.
he wrote them in.
Excuse me.
He wrote
Yeah, because
he
he
wrote
knew how you were gonna be.
he did this.
You're a barbarian. We tried to tell you not to do that,
But
but
they-
you did it
They
anyway.
cheated. They cheated.
No.
They
no.
took my money, so I had to pay
You're
they had
only
to pay
further
retribution.
proving my point.
But anyway, all is fixed
Daniel,
now.
do you have a list of things that like you were like, I gave him an out? You just have like this list of times that we just didn't choose that, or we just like didn't see it.
Oh, I mean, I bring that stuff up when it's relevant. Like if we talk about like that was just what we were talking about was like that was the out that the captain gave you when you were on the ship. But in the heat of the moment, after a big old battle with Zool, that was all of you guys lied and said, "Nope, that wasn't us." And he went,
All right.
"Okay."
If you say so.
If you, yeah.
Like you could pay the fine.
Wasn't us.
Guess not.
Wasn't me.
Here's the thing.
It's like you're making this harder.
I reject your reality and I substitute my own.
Literally.
Yeah.
I didn't
Big.
do it.
Yeah.
I know
Big.
I didn't.
It wasn't me. Energy.
Yeah.
I'm perfect.
It wasn't me. Wink.
It wasn't me. I'm perfect. What are you talking about? Hold on.
So yeah.
Was it like you choose your own adventure in an open world, but it's the same story for everyone? Is that what it is?
So it's an adventure. So it's sort of like you have place, but there are a
Okay.
ton of options for what you can do.
Okay.
So instead of you can like talk your way out of fights, you can side with different people. So the second act of the game, because I just went into one thing, was like, cool, I'll do this. Shit, I'm at the
Oops.
final battle now. Whoops.
Wait, you can play Baldur's Gate on Nintendo Switch?
I think so. It just got
Oh,
released for
maybe.
Xbox at the end of 2023.
Oh, it says no. It says
Yeah, I
no.
don't know how optimized it is.
Yikes.
For
Yeah.
I
It
know.
says no.
Yeah, I don't know about Switch. I know for
You play PC.
Xbox, it was janky.
Yeah, it's janky, but I make it work. Like original like PC games when they get ported over to Xbox, I feel like are almost always going to be janky. I think it's just how you deal with that, you know.
You play PC.
I
Play-
don't.
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You play by
So
yourself. You don't play with other real people.
you can actually,
Mhm.
and that's something that I would do. I would do that with Seth.
Yeah.
Once he plays a full playthrough, I would do a run.
Oh, that'd be so good.
I would do a run with you.
The same.
Yep. So the
Yeah,
game
story. Yeah,
itself
story
has a
is the same.
story.
Gotcha.
You
Mhm.
just the world is basically just open, and you can.
That sounds super fun. I would do that.
I shouldn't say
Yeah.
it's like totally. I mean, I haven't really like explored a whole lot. Like, I'm assuming there's
Yeah.
more
You
to
have
the game than
you
just
have
the
a
Grove.
yeah, you have multiple like regions that you'll go through.
Yeah.
Like it'll be in like one part that's like overland, there's another part that's underground, there's another part that's in the mountains,
Yep.
another one that's like different settings
Yeah.
that you'll go through. And so it's like a closed map, but you can go anywhere in each like region that you go to.
Cool. I
Yeah.
was playing Zelda last night while I was listening to you play Baldur's Gate 10.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Very
not yeah,
multi-world. Like, wow. I was
yeah,
trying to navigate
not as open like not as open world as Zelda.
But the
For sure.
but the areas like the area that I'm in right now, I would assume it's the like that first area is like the tutorial area, I feel like.
Is that where you still are, Seth?
I think so. Daniel would have a better
Yep.
understanding than I do.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start playing it.
You're I think you're maybe a quarter of the way through the first act.
That's
ish.
insane. I played fucking like well last night I played for 7 hours. The day before that I played for another 5 hours. And the day before that
You didn't
yesterday?
load.
Huh?
It wouldn't load.
No, 2 days ago. 3 days ago I played 2.5 hours. So I think I've played at least 15 or so hours. And I feel like I've done nothing.
Daniel, are you also eating a bagel right now?
I am.
Guys, it's 1. It's 1 in the afternoon.
New media. Woo! It wrecked us.
Survive on bread.
This is how we.
Oh, I have other food. But I'm
But it's
going away
midday.
for a week. So I have to
Oh,
like eat all of the perishables.
Weird. We're
My parents have instructed me to do this.
non-perishables.
Yeah. And then throw out a bunch of stuff before we leave.
Mm-hmm.
So
No.
gonna be a lot of ordering out tomorrow
Hell yeah.
Yep.
because today is trash day.
I know that about your house.
Oh yeah, that was the whole thing where it's like we gotta go because the stump dump closes at 3:30.
The dump. Man, I
Yeah.
miss going to the dump.
Oh, do you just have like a dumpster for your
Yeah.
bags of trash where you are?
Yeah.
We all have trash pickup.
God, I miss that. Take the fucking bins out.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've missed it the past 2 times though, so I have a lot of trash.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The thing with that is I was the one that got home first on Tuesdays. Or no, I had fencing, so I would go directly from like work to fencing, and then I would get
Mm-hmm.
back, and so then no one would have taken the bins back, and so we have these huge rolling ones. It was so fucking loud, and I'm there at like 9:30, and I'm like,
All right.
fucking okay, I'm gonna
Yep.
drag these across the pavement.
My neighbor does that every Monday morning at 5.
Yep.
And they have a giant one and they drag it by, and I'm on the first floor and my bedroom window is right next to the driveway. So it's
Yeah.
just like
Thankfully,
super
we don't have to drag it anymore. One of my old apartments, we didn't have a wheeled one for one of them, and so people would drag it. But now we just have the giant ones that have wheels. So then it's just like bum 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 bum.
over the rats.
Yeah. But there were 4 of them, so I had to weave them between the cars, so I couldn't take 2 at once. So it was just like 4 times. It's just like, man, it's gonna be really fucking loud. Good
Oh my
stuff.
God. I'm gonna put in the chat that Aaron should stop by since it's a weird time.
Yeah. I don't know if we told the other guys that they can like drop in and listen if they want,
Of course.
but it's basically going to be we'll jump in, I think, now that I've eaten half a bagel and I have my coffee. We're picking up because you guys left you guys weren't able to make it because you had the power outages.
Mhm.
So we ended with you guys stepping through the portal.
Mhm.
And sort of that was the last thing that you guys had for Grog and Azealia were kind of like off stage for the next session. So we'll pick up, and this is sort of like what's happening with you guys with the rest of the party. As you arrived, you basically you had tricked the archfey that was in the swamp to let her pass. You burned some spell slots to have Antera cast the teleport spell with the sigils that he had known to send you all back to the Winter Court. And so you arrived there in this sort of like puff of magic to a large crowd gathered around you all, standing on the middle of this sort of like dais in the center of the city, which for the reference of sort of where it is, it's built in the side of a glacier. So there's lots of like bridges that are crossing over the big like crack that fills the center of it. So sort of dim light that filters through. And so you're on top of this dais that's like a large bridge that connects 2 sides of it. One side you have the Archface Palace, which is sort of this like gothic black stone and ice that's like built into the side of this glacier. Pathways and walkways of frozen steps where the city gets its name. And across all of these like various bridges, the different levels of the city, tons of critter folk and Eladrin and other strange archfey that live within the city are sort of looking down or around all of you who have returned with the prince. smatterings of quiet applause. The denizens of the Winter Court are the most low key and sort of sub uh, the least energetic of all of the like fae that you would have encountered. So sort of like golf claps as you arrive, but you do see projected on other screens sort of these flat panels of ice or snow, large surfaces and small across the city. The queen has projected much like when you arrived with uh, Zul when he uh, came there, your deeds from the perspective of Zephyrus because of that magical disconnect. And you don't see the ones of your personal experiences that you all had in there. Those are not visible. But the rest of your exploits, including fighting the Medusa and going through that whole ordeal, uh, all arrive, sort of this voice projected throughout the space where it is this sort of hushed murmurs of people gathered around. She says, "These adventurers from the mortal plane have returned my son. In their honor, from completing this task, we shall have a banquet, a ball for them this night. Gather, prepare, and begin the preparations for the revelry of this evening." Uh, and everyone more sort of like quiet applause, murmuring, and then people start to disperse. And the queen turns to you as a bunch of Eladrin and like frost goblins and snow fairies and pixies sort of like flutter around you guys, each sort of introducing themselves as your attendants who will be taking care of you to dress you and prepare you for the ball to come this evening. And the queen says, "These servants may take you to the various rooms and halls of the palace where you may prepare. We have tailors and haberdasheries and those who will craft glamored clothing for you all to wear this evening."
It all makes sense now in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes, very much
Like,
so.
what are they doing? Okay, gotcha.
Kind of
And she
review.
says, "Tonight is for celebration. Tomorrow I shall meet with you and we shall discuss your reward and some knowledge and information that I did promise." And she kind of gestures to you, Azilia, that I would inform you of my dealings with Elandor in
Mm-hmm.
time past.
Mm-hmm.
So, eat, drink, be merry, enjoy the evening. And she departs in sort of just a puff of snow and a blast of chill air. You are brought into the palace. You each have your own sort of rooms, various suites where you have attendants who draw a bath for you. You're able to get clean for the first time in who knows how long. Uh, and they basically have these magical tailors who are able to craft these sort of magically glamored clothes for you. Ada is wearing this very fancy dress in lots of like blacks and whites, but is wearing this red lipstick to still highlight her autumn eladrin. Zephyrus still has her sword and dagger belted on her hip. It's been polished and a little bit more adorned, and she's wearing this sort of dashing, well-cut suit and has a hat. Rock a little bit more subdued, but has a very fine vest and clothes that have been fashioned for them as well. Aaliyah and Sir Weimer are also there. They come out. Aaliyah, you see, without her armor and like clothes that have now shown. They now show like bare shoulders and legs. She has this sort of like tight-fitting dress, like slits up the side, so you can see
Ooh.
she is well muscled and has the adornments of sort of this silvery scale mail that covers the openings that would be more scandalous in certain company, but things that need to be covered are covered. Uh, and she has sort of her hair done up, uh, makeup. She looks completely different than when you've seen her before. And Weimer has had his beard that he had, like the big kind of scraggly beard, has been shaved, and you can now see that he was kind of hard to tell how old he was before. Without the beard, he appears to be maybe 18 or 19. Um, is really just a kid, and
Damn.
is wearing sort of this fine velvet jacket, all in like this red velvet with sort of like silver trim, uh, polished boots, and they all come out. You do see that Aaliyah is sort of like a little bit nervous. She's like, I'm not used to this, and they said I couldn't take my glaive to the party, so I don't really know what to do with my hands. Um, uh, but if you guys want to go, I need a drink. Um, I'm gonna go. And she like grabs Weimer and is like, "You're coming with me." He's like, "Okay."
All right.
They head off. You guys go and approach. You see that there are these 5 shrouded blocks of you're not sure what, but they have this darkness spell on each of them. As each of you approach, sort of across, you're in the same sort of like dais area is where this party has been crafted. There are musicians playing sort of like this waltz that's happening on this dance floor in the center of this bridge. Food and drinks being served from various tables and bars across, and multiple Eladrin and Archfey and other strange fey creatures are there, greeting you and giving small, subtle praises to your work and adventures.
Hmm.
Uh, Excellent work, milady, crushing those owl bears with your spells. A most delicious display of viciousness. Uh, Like the way that you killed that dastardly woman that turned into some disgusting fiend. Most brutal. I truly enjoy the visual of that. I've seen it multiple times, and all of the other. You can see like this is a guy that Zephyrus had to hang out with, which is a bunch of other like duelists
Mhm.
with like these sort of like open shirts. A couple of them are fully shirtless, but they're all these guys that have like sabers and rapiers like belted on their hips, and doing very like dangerous party games, like throwing darts or the sort of like knife through like the fingers, but they're doing it with these like big black icicle.
5-finger fillet.
They have a bunch of, yeah, and they have a bunch of like scars that they're sort of showing off. And this is one of the guys that's sort of talking to you. He's like, "Excellent show, and acts something more brutal than what I'm accustomed to, but the prowess that you showed, very impressive."
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And as each of you approach, you're sort of like introduced, and these globes of darkness are revealed, and each of you see yourselves in sort of a dashing pose carved out of ice that the sculptors have done while you were away. Each of you are in sort of like a dashing action pose, and I will say both of you roll initiative, and we'll see which one is displayed first.
Oh my.
I will say Rox is sort of like a gentle one, where they're sort of like casting a spell, less intense than Zephyrus, where she has her rapier and her dagger at the ready, and Ada, I believe, is one that's a little bit more like delicate, preparing to cast a spell as well.
I got a 9.
I got a 17.
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Azealia, you are introduced before Grog after the others. This globe of darkness is revealed as they say, Azealia and her companion Shadow. The darkness is revealed. What does the statue that they have, this ice sculpture that they've crafted, what does it look like for you?
So I've been making it on Hero Forge right now.
Mm.
But the
Cool.
dress I chose is the same one as Ada. I didn't mean to do that.
Oh, no
It's
worries.
one that I've worn before, but it looks different, but it's the same, but different. I'm
Okay.
just kind of in, well, hold on. I don't know.
Oh, I guess you can describe what they have dressed you in, what we see as you're approaching, and your
Okay.
sculptures are sort of like a pose from your adventures that
Okay.
they've seen.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. It's almost done. I have to do one more.
Okay. gotta throw it together real quick.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. We love a real visual. If you're not one of the people that can think on the fly, when you're like, I haven't done theater in ages, I don't know what the Met Gala attire looks like.
I did these without really looking at the other ones, so honestly, it could be similar. I have no idea. But this material itself is called moonstone.
Oh,
So I had to use it. Oh, it's kind of similar, but not really at the same time. Okay. Oh, send it.
Oh.
Why is it not? Excuse me.
Ariel. Ooh, very nice.
Very cool.
So it's kind of
Nice.
like a moonstone. It's a moonstone dress.
It's gotta be heavy.
Okay, so they've glamored the fabric
Well,
to
yeah,
match. Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So it looks like you're walking with this beautiful gemstone that shimmers in all of like the fairy fire lights that are illuminating across this bridge that this party is on. Iridescent and shimmering with unnatural beauty as you cross this bridge. As you cross in this very fashionable attire, what does the statue of you and a Shadow look like from your adventure?
Trying to think if Shadow should look vicious or
Vicious or regal?
Yeah, I
Kind of his
think
two modes.
Yeah.
I think I think he's being a good boy. I think he's sitting down.
He's being a good boy.
And one of his paws is down and the other one's kind of like up like this because they don't really know him. They just are like, oh, it's Tiger.
Yep.
Oh, he's just kind of sitting there like this, and he's like this next to me, just kind of like with his little paw up. And I'm standing next to him. I'm in kind of like a warrior pose
Mm.
with a staff,
Oh, hell yeah.
just like holding it up. Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. So we've got a battle stance with Azealia and then Shadow looking very regal. And Shadow, who has been very quiet most
Yeah.
of your adventures, he doesn't seem to like to talk with a lot of other people around. And he kind of murmurs to you, he's like, I think they got my ears wrong, but I'm not going to eat anyone.
Oh my god.
I'm going to go eat some steaks.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Kind of forgot Shadow can talk. Not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
kind of forget.
He kind of, he's been around, but he kind of turns to his way and he's like, I'm cool talking around the rest of your friends because I know them, but around other people, a lot of strangers, I'm uncomfortable. But you're good. And he like nuzzles you and he says, I'm gonna go eat a weird reindeer steak. And then he like
Don't be sick.
pads away through the thing, and you see the rest of the Eladrin strangely like aren't really put off by this. It's just like a wild animal that's just sort of like wandering through the party.
That's fine.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, you have like polar bear folk that are drinking giant like fist-sized tankards. Other strange like snow angel animated like constructs that are chatting with other people. A
Yeah.
tiger walking through a party, not the strangest thing that they are
Nah.
seeing in a Fey city. So you make your way through this new statue of you being shown. Grog, what attire do we see Grog in as he approaches the party with the rest of his companions?
Okay, so I know Haley wasn't here for this, so I'm gonna re-describe what I said before I had to go. So, Grog is gonna kind of enter the space. He's hopping on one leg to put his boots on, and they're just like he's never worn fancy boots before, so he's just, and they like don't fit quite right, but they're snug. Because being a soldier, you need equipment and gear that fits, and you don't want to be running through the muck in the woods and your boot fall off. So he's hopping on one foot to get his boot on, and he's wearing just a vest, and like he's completely sleeveless. You can see his chest, all of his tattoos.
Woo!
Yeah, he's never been to a party before, so he doesn't really know like how should I dress. He what are those caps called? I'm trying to think of
Fez?
oh what's the type of hat that like do you guys watch like Peaky Blinders? What are those?
Oh, you've got like a driver's cap?
A driver's cap. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Hell yeah.
Kind of Bob wears.
Yeah.
It's a paperboy hat.
A paperboy hat. That's exactly what it is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
He looks a little out of sorts. Like he's like also kind of like I don't know how I like why am I here? Is this right?
Flashback to being in this like wall to wall like just like a full like floor ceiling hats across, and you have this little like snow goblin with like a monocle just like, yes sir, any hat you wish, I could glamour it however you want. These more covered ones at the bottom, and you see like this is where like all of like the cabbie hats, they some like weird straw cowboy hats, and then like all the way up at the top they have like 6 foot tall like top hats and like weird glamored like giant rimmed ones with like big peacock feathers. And you just kind of
Interesting.
point to one of the bottoms. He says, "You doubt the choice that I would make, but who am I to judge?" Grabs it for you, levitates up, and sets it on your head. Raises a mirror. Good.
Fits kind of tight, but I think I'll make do.
Very well, sir. And we cut back to Grog. You are making your way across. You are introduced. Do they introduce you as Grog the Barbarian or
Ooh.
Grog the Sword of Atlas? I will ask.
Um, I think he would be introduced as the Sword of Atlas.
Okay. Hell yeah. You're introduced in that way. You see, give me a perception check
Oh
in
my.
that moment.
Perception. That's a 4.
A 4.
I'm just so distracted
Uh,
by all the people.
yeah, I think that's truly you've probably the biggest party that you've ever been to is like a tavern brawl.
Yeah.
Is when you've seen this many half drunk people this close together.
Damn.
So yeah, a little bit distracted, but I will tell you what you don't see is a handful of people that you see other, or I should say, you don't see some of the like bear folk that are there kind of turn and kind of like nod to each other as the that is mentioned, but you don't actually see that as you are a little bit nervous seeing the final globe of darkness
Hmm.
disappear and see the statue of your pose that has been sculpted. What do we see?
So I imagine you would see Grog in um probably his probably his like leather or like hide armor that like he's been wearing. Um he's got um his like bearskin cloak. And he's got his great axe standing straight up, and he's just kind of like placed both his hands on top of it, just as like a kind of like a centerpiece, and like you can see all the runes and things that have been um, kind of like molded into the statue, or like I guess the metal.
Yep.
And he's just kind of standing there, kind of like
Awesome.
at attention.
A very like at rest soldierly uh pose.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So you guys sort of like mingle and are have more like Faye and Eladrin that come up to you and thank you for saving the prince from gallivanting off with a human back to the material plane. Uh, is there anything specific that we see you guys do at this party? At one point, you do see Ada going around and playing some music, uh, wafting some prestidigitation of cornbread around the food, sort of like buffet. Rock gets rather drunk with another like winter gnome.
You say what?
Just yes, drinking just like flights of alcohol at the bar, but then is able to like drink a potion that just fully clears the intoxication so that they can keep drinking. Uh, Zephyrus is going over and playing sort of like parlor games with a bunch of duelists and appears to hit it off with one of them. And they leave the party early together at some point. Um, the rest of you mingling and here at this ball in your honor uh, will keep the same initiative. Haley, what do we see Azealia do?
Hmm. Hmm. I think she's going to be on the lookout for other druids.
Mm.
Okay,
Because she's
interesting.
not. besides Kinvara, she's not really like been around other druids. Um, I don't know if she can just tell if they are or not. I'm assuming probably. She
Yeah,
has spidey
yeah, no,
senses about other druids.
no, for sure. Give me a, I would say either perception or I would even say like nature,
Okay.
to try and do that. And I will say that shadow gives you the help action here.
Okay, perception and nature are my best ones.
Okay, perfect. I
All
wisdom.
right. Well, okay, so I just got a 12, so we're gonna roll again.
Okay,
And I got a 10.
okay.
Meant
12, pretty low DC. It's not hard to find. You do see a uh a fae that you haven't seen before sort of come up. It is this sort of like stoat looking critter folk, long and sort of like slender, walking on 2 feet. It's this ermine with like a pure white coat in their sort of like winter form. Coming up, you see them in a lot of like sort of like leather garb with a lot of sort of like winter themed charms and things that are on them. They wear sort of a diadem, which is a sort of like chain with a single like blue shimmering like sapphire that hangs down. And
interesting.
they introduce themselves as uh,
A little bit. I'm a little bit stunned just because I have not really met another druid in real life before. So I'm a little bit like taken aback, and then I'm like, well, thank you. It's good to meet you too.
of course, of course. Obviously, the moon here does not uh, operate quite the same, but it was rather impressive to see your uh, powers as they are. Truly much more powerful than any of the others of our circles that are here. My circle, quite small, being only a handful of us here in the winter court. We only exist here. The other circles beyond this court are few and far between. Um, a shame, truly, that you have not met another one. If you are to be here for some time, or even if you wish to meet others from the circles uh, beyond myself and the other winters, we could arrange that if you so wish.
Yes, I would love that.
Fantastic. Now, you will have to tell me more about. I hear that you come from a jungle, which I will be honest, seems rather strange. So, if you would uh, do me the great pleasure of just tell me about all the strange and interesting things that are there, I would be much appreciated. And I shall tell you anything you wish to know about the cold and frigid areas of this place. It is quite beautiful, although rather inhospitable for one as yourself. And they kind of gesture between the two of you where there is like
Mm,
covered in this very like silky fur, and you who they've like sort of glamored your clothing so you stay warm, but
mm.
you know without this you would be your teeth would be absolutely chattering. um so the this Arctic Druid chats with you for the evening. What is one of the highlights of the jungle that you get to tell them about?
Swinging from vines.
Oh yeah, like we saw in the backstory flashback.
Yep.
Very George of the Jungle.
Yeah, he finds that very fascinating because literally there's nothing that could compare where he's from at all.
No, certainly not.
Slay.
Goodness, I cannot imagine flying through the air with the ground so far below you. Oh,
Have you ever
I
flown before?
in truth, no, I have never taken another form beyond this one. My
Oh.
talents are more of the healing variety of my tribe of other
Nerd.
stoats that
Do you
live.
want lessons?
I would not be opposed, I must say. There are others from the other courts. I know of um, well, he's a parrot folk from the Isles of the Summer Court that I've only heard of him, but he is rather keen to fly very often, but not someone that I interact with much. But I suppose I wouldn't be opposed to learn how to
So
fly
when he
within
says
wild
that,
shape.
I'm gonna turn into my giant eagle form.
Jesus.
Oh my god!
Jesus. You
Just
monster.
okay, so I'm gonna turn into the giant eagle form and I'm gonna wink at him and then I'm gonna like take off and just kind of like fly around a little bit
Do you
above.
like pick him up to fly around?
Nope,
Oh, okay.
I'm just showing off.
Aren't
Oh,
we in a
okay.
room?
No, you guys are on a big the big bridge that sort of like
Oh, okay.
spans
Okay.
the two sides of this like crag in the glacier.
I was like, oh my god.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and give me a performance roll with advantage, because that's rad as hell. Yeah.
With advantage?
Yes, I will say so.
Oh, I still got a 17 on my first roll. Yeah, we're gonna go with that.
Okay, awesome. You actually see sort of like Zephyrus has caught this happening, and as you fly through, you see all the projections that are still showing things of your adventures. You
Okay.
see your very elegant flight as you loop through and like do sort of like dive bombs and looping upside down through these like narrow walkways and stuff. You see new projections of this very dashing and elegant flight that you make
Ooh.
before returning and landing. Very, uh, I suppose, do you land in sort of like a big display, or is it sort of a just like flutter back down
No,
and
no, it's a
transform?
huge display. It's the biggest display I've ever done.
Hell yeah, amazing. So you like land, big burst of air as the wings come down, like
Yeah.
all of the musicians that are playing, there's a screech as they're all kind of like thrown off. You hear some glass like smash somewhere. There's a few cries of like ah. Uh, one or two people sort of like grumbling like ah, damn adventurers, they're always rah, rah, rah. Like grumbling. It's like, well, I guess we can't expect more from a rah, rah.
Harumph,
Sort of
harumph.
like, yeah, a little bit of rump, a little bit of grumbling from these winter eladrin. Um, After that, we cut over to Grog. What do we see Grog doing through the evening?
So, right. You cut the grog, and he's feeling a little better. He's had a couple drinks. He's in
Hmm.
this giant circle of just attendees and things like that. He's right in the center, and and there I was, running through the streets, slashing enemies before me, bringing divine justice upon them. And like he's just telling fucking old war stories, and like talking about when he was younger, um, uh, uh, his previous party, and like those old war stories, and then he kind of jumps to like kind of in the middle of stories, like he jumps from one to, and Azelia and I were climbing this high mountain peak. I had shadow tied to me, as we're scaling the white mountain, the wall, and like he's just so like excited to tell war stories to other people.
Hell
Because
yeah.
the Cluebridge Six have heard the same shit probably for a little while.
Well, we did
Yeah.
it with.
And you were there, so
We're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
remember, Grog.
It's like, yeah, we were there.
I
Uh,
know.
I will say, Aaliyah kind of shows up at some point, and she's like, I mean, we gotta. I got my memories from the thing. They've probably never heard about what happened at En La Sonora. I mean, you wanna tell? I mean, we lost a handful of good people, but
we did.
you know, we did kind of save the world once before.
Yeah, old Grog here, he saved the world once or twice. No big deal, no big deal.
You
Yes.
see a bunch of them like very impressed. This one sort of like penguin folk that has like a monocle and like a tricorn hat. He gasp, and the monocle like pops out and it's like puts it back, and it's like, save the world, you say? My, quite impressive. I can't say that any of us have saved the Feywild before, but do tell, slaying demons in a fallen city, most impressive. Never seen a demon myself before, but quite impressive, I must say.
Hideous monstrosities they are. With this very axe, in fact, I have slain hundreds of demons.
My, quite impressive. And you see Aaliyah kind of like rolls her eyes, but also begins to kind of follow through and really hypes you up
Hell yeah.
throughout your tales of adventure and war stories with a bunch of sort of like other grizzled like veterans. They seem to be the ones that were like actual military and not just the duelists and sort of like idle rich that Zephyrus is hanging out with.
Yeah, I'll talk up those veterans.
Yeah, hell yeah. You immediately sort of like connect with the other vets who are like, oh yeah, like we get it. Swap war stories. Some of them are like, yeah, we fought through the crags of the like shattered glaciers and fought like ice drakes as they were approaching. There were like 7 of us that held a pass for 6 nights and 7 days, and all the like stories back and forth of these like crazy, wild, fey battles that seem somewhat impossible to you. It's like there's no way that 7,000 pixies tried to kill a village of mushrooms, but it's like everyone fully just like, no, that truly happened, and no, it's
real,
normal for us. That's just like a Tuesday.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, an army of pixies and an army of bugbears. They just feuding for 100 years, and no one could really stop them until a bunch of us we were sent and did all this. So yeah, swapping war stories back and forth. A night that ends into almost dawn, until you head back to your chambers. Either alone or with some person you have quite impressed on your arm, as Zephyrus did. But the next day, you are summoned to the Queen's chambers just after you have finished eating. Just the Cluebridge Six, not any of the other companions that you have brought. Although Ada, at a certain point during her time at the party, she did see her younger sister who introduced herself to you guys, but spent most of the night sort of catching up with Ada, because it does appear that it has been almost a quarter of a century since they have crossed paths.
Well,
But
I'm just gonna say that the end of Azalea's night is the guy I taught him how to turn into a white tiger.
Hell yeah.
And then we're just gonna run off into the woods, and you don't see us till morning, and that's it.
Hell yeah, awesome. Love that. A fade to black. The camera pans up to the night sky as you dash off into the woods.
Yep.
Yeah, Shalaria introduces herself to you. She is at the party, but she is the sole Summer Eladrin. In her form, she's very like feisty and energetic. Is this kind of like shorter than Ada, very lean, but has the same sort of reddish hair that you when you first met. Strangers such as yourselves had to be my sister, much as I love her. Uh, Truly, we have almost swapped places, I think, at this point. Um, and regales you that when she was younger, she stayed almost exclusively as a spring Eladrin and much more of a trickster, while Ada was a autumn Eladrin for the most part, and now it appears the two of them have swapped yet again. Uh, but she tells you guys that more or less Ada and her adventures that Shalaria has been on, she says, Ada and I will be attending to some Fey business here um, on our own. There is something that we must do as a duty to our brother to avenge him. Um, he died recently, and Ada has told me that she found his blade and has seen how he died. And as such, she can tell you if she wishes once we have done this. But we will be leaving after your appointment with the Queen in the morning. And I promise I shall return her whole and unharmed.
Uh, y-
Okay.
yeah. Grog will just take all the time you need. Loss can be so hard for anyone.
Yes, very much. And it is watching some of your adventures that you've been on. I'm impressed with the as much as everyone else is here. Um, my adventuring party that I have gathered, I hope that one day we can be as impressive as you are. But I'm very glad that you've kept my sister safe, and I can't thank you enough. Keeping close to the chest. Um, uh, After you are all summoned to the Queen's chamber, you get there, and Zephyrus does sort of first off request that the spike is taken out of her eye. The queen does so, reaches in, pulls out this very long, like a foot-long spike of like black obsidian glass, lets it vanish into the dark of sort of this like vaulted giant room as she is standing in sort of this like softly illuminated room with her like black throne that she has stepped away from. But as you were all standing in this sort of like perfectly flat ice floor with these long columns that just stretch into the darkness of her audience chamber, small sort of like braziers of fey light, fairy fire that's like illuminating this area near you. She approaches and says, "Now that you have completed your task for me, saving the prince, I will give you the information that you now seek. And as such, it is my duty to inform you that uh, in what you would call the first age of your time, I was a high priestess um, of one of the elven goddesses, and I was given the task to protect a crown that bore the and I was there for many years until Elandor and his companions eventually freed me. And after doing so, the gods, in their wisdom, charged him and his brave party of adventurers to slay the beast that had captured me and use the moonstone to do so. His companions, also very brave and very strong, also carried artifacts of great power, while Elandor bore the moonstone. The mage that was with him had a staff. It was as black as the moonstone is white, and it radiated raw magical power. The artisan that traveled with him had a strange stone rod carved with runes that whispered voices in a number of languages, both those that used to exist and do not. Uh, and unfortunately, strong as they were and as hard as they tried, they failed to kill the dragon. In their final stand, they used their artifacts to imprison the dragon. However, every cell must have a lock. One of the dragon's followers, in their final moments, sacrificed themselves as they had been secretly working with the heroes, and they became the lock that now holds the dragon in a humanoid form on the moon. Elandor, after this, and after his adventures, passed the stone to those of his blood to protect the stone, and has been so for many centuries. As the High Priestess, I was connected to this stone magically and could sense its presence. However, in uh, the recent past, that connection broke as one of the bearers died before it was passed on. Thus, I sent my warlock Eldred Zool, that you have met before, to gather the stone, complete his pact for me. And that's where you met him in your travels. And you, child of the forest, would appear that able to bind the moonstone as you have. You are of his blood, a descendant who is able to bear the moonstone and attune to it. So, I shall ask you, as still the high priestess as I was, all those thousands of years ago, will your party do what the ancient heroes could not?
Can you give us a minute?
Hey, DM, hold up.
Yes.
Got a
What's up?
timeout
lot.
on the field. Timeout on the
That is,
field.
Okay.
that is a lot.
Character hat off, GM hat on.
It's a lot.
Holy shit.
Interesting.
I mean, we fucking say no, right? Like, we just go home.
No, I can't.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So all the druids of my tribe have been his descendants then? So I'm related to all those people besides that?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. How does it pick who it goes to? It just happens. Like,
Kinvara said that there was more she wanted to tell you, but
okay.
in the few moments that she did, it wasn't something that she was able to pass on.
Yeah. So she's my grandmother? No, it doesn't matter.
Unknown.
Yeah.
Unknown.
Weird.
Although she did say, I will say the one thing that she did say to you that probably stuck out was that she was exiled because she fell in love with Eldred Zool, as you knew him, because he was a high elf.
Mm-hmm.
Scum.
Exiled from your tribe, and you had never heard of her.
Weird.
Oh, shit. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Fucking wiper from
Right.
history type of shit.
Well, that's why she couldn't give me the stone.
Yeah. How the turntables.
But did the people did the elders of the tribe know about this though? Because she
Probably.
had to get the stone from somebody previous. And they knew she had the stone at that point, and then they were like, "Oh, Azilia's turning into a druid. She would be the next, bearer." But fuck that nonsense. We're not even gonna.
Maybe it's one of those
didn't
like elders of the tribe are too slow to change kind of vibe, and they're like, fuck it.
Yeah, or maybe they'd all died off at that point.
Yeah, you were able to put together like the timeline. Like you would know like sort of like your lineage so far and lining up with how old she was. She was born like more than 100 years before you were.
Okay.
And was banished or like exiled when she mentioned it when she was like 75. So she would have been
I wouldn't
like
have met her anyway.
Yep, you wouldn't. Your timelines of your time being like born and her being exiled, there's a gap.
Okay, so they just left the moonstone with her and then said, "Fuck it, we're not doing that shit anymore."
Appears so.
Kinda, yeah. Okay, right. I happened to find it, so joke's on y'all. Ella, stop. Whenever I turn my thing off, by the way, that's why.
Oh, because of
She's
the dog?
squeaking her toy.
Gotcha.
Oh,
She's like, "Play with me, salmon."
Wow.
hell yeah.
Can you now turn into a fish because you've seen the salmon? Whoa.
Flop.
Flop.
Wow. Yeah, so that's a lot. Oh no, we have to fight a dragon. Cool.
Grog is gonna look to Azealia real quick, and he's gonna get down on
one knee. Oh my god! Plot twist.
Hold on. Oh my god!
What a train!
Oh my god!
Shadow starts jumping around.
No, this is not that.
Does the like tippy taps? Like, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Silence, you fools! This is not that. Fucking Christ!
More exciting than when I ate that hunk of reindeer meat.
Silence,
what a party!
you giant cat.
Curse you.
Azelia, you have a tremendous responsibility before you. I have laid down my life for thousands of people, saved countless lives before this. Before I met you,
Breaking up with me.
I was ready to retire, go back to the spine, find my wife, find my family. But I can't. I will yet again lay down my sword and my shield. I will be your shield. I will be the world's shield once again.
Well, thank you for the theatrics. That was great.
I'm gonna throw up.
Shadow goes, gross. Ah, that's worse
nasty.
than when I do it.
Yeah, and that's that. That's basically all I was gonna say.
Awesome. Shadow turns to you and says, I followed you before I could talk, and I will follow you anywhere now.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, nuzzles you.
I'd be very glad to have your service. Thank you, girl.
But I have to assure you, when this is done, I must go home.
Okay.
Or die trying.
Okay, there it is.
Or if it gets too tough, I will just leave. The first sign of stress, I will leave.
Oh, no.
Control Alt Delete. Delete save.
God.
Restart
No.
game. Level 1. Okay, that was it.
All right.
He doesn't say any of
Right.
that, I promise.
Okay.
I will,
This is a sidebar with the party before you turn back to the queen.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
This is
Does
the
everybody else-
this is the team huddle before we figure out, like, yeah.
Oh, everybody else heard this or no?
Yes, I gave them a condensed version of that because
Okay.
I had written this specific thing
Mm.
to tie into Azealia, but I gave them a more condensed, like, sort of a one paragraph piece.
Okay.
Gotcha.
What did they all think about it?
They thought it was good, more or less.
Basically, if we don't do it, we don't have a session anymore.
All right. They hated it.
They progressed the plot.
Oh, just to make sure I understand really quick. So the dragon they were supposed to fight,
Yep.
they failed. It was imprisoned on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Wait, by the Moonstone Circlet, like
They
via.
used the power of their 3 artifacts as basically the keys to a lock
Right.
using a ritual, and one of the dragon's followers
Yep.
sacrificed themselves to be the, like,
Lock.
body. Yeah. So
Yeah.
they became the prison. They died. The dragon was trapped in that body, and they sent the body to the moon.
Gross.
Damn.
I've interacted with the dragon or the person.
The person, yeah. That's that figure that
Ooh.
you've seen.
Mm-hmm. And
Which is the answer? No.
Correct.
yeah,
Okay.
and I've seen both of them.
So where's the dragon? I haven't seen the dragon.
The dragon is trapped in the body.
Yeah.
Okay.
But didn't
So
I
real
see
gene-
the dragon in my, like, vision? Or my
You saw the figure when you grabbed the circlet.
Oh.
So it was a dragon's follower, or it was a hero that was sent to slay the dragon.
One of the dragon's followers.
Yep. And he
What
was
does that
working
mean?
with the group,
Oh.
Uh,
What does a dragon's
if-
follower mean?
like a cultist,
Oh.
More or less, yeah.
a believer.
An evil dragon from a few thousand years ago. It's hard for her to fully communicate this because there's such a gap.
Time gap.
And she was also a Fae queen
Mm.
at this point. Was not fully a human anymore, and hasn't been for a few millennia.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first age for you all in the timeline of Salandran, sort of in a meta sense that you would all know, is approximately 5,000 years ago.
Damn.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm just a baby.
So the solution to this would be to go to the moon, and so the key is the moonstone, I'm assuming.
It's one of the 3 things we need.
Okay.
One of the 3.
Ooh. Wow, this is real Deathly Hollows.
And actually, I will give you some little insight that I don't know if I know Micah took the notes on it, but Azealia, Ada, and Micah or Rock saw in one of the visions that they had that the giant warforge that was being constructed had in one of its arms a black staff embedded in like its crystal armature.
Mm.
Its other arm had a stone rod that was whispering in different like languages.
Oh, it's a staff, a rod, and a stone.
Correct.
We gotta go get the staff.
A logo for that. Interesting. Do they have names?
Unknown to you at this point.
The Sorcerer's Stone, the Staff of Secrets.
Yeah. And the cloak wand of no.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. You do know the rod is called the Rod of Stories because it was one of the objects that the Forsaken were tasked to create as penance for the gods.
Mm.
Interesting.
And I will say, in a condensed sense that you've been able to put together with sort of the histories and stories with what Aaliyah has told you, the Elven Empire tried to summon the dragon into the Avatar, the giant Warforged, but they failed. Which is why there's the crazy Warforged and Big Dad in his vision modified the magic of their summoning ritual and sent part of it to the Feywild. So you guys, this is basically like what you're able to piece together is there's one part of the dragon that's on the moon, there's one part that is on the material plane, and there is one part that is here in the Feywild.
God damn, we're gonna need actually like 5 more years of our actual life.
I will say, out of game, it's not gonna take 5 years. I do have these arcs planned, so
hell yeah.
it's not gonna take forever. I'm not sending you on a wild goose chase. There is a plan for this.
There's a line.
I'm not upset about it. Let me just make that clear.
Oh, yeah,
Not mad.
No way. Fuck no.
Not mad.
Fuck
Very lovely.
No.
Happy for the content. Damn. Okay. Okay. What more can I say? Okay. Sign me up.
So,
Wait. One more thing. Do we need? I keep thinking of things. Well, do we need all 3 artifacts first to then go try to like annihilate him, sort of?
Are you asking Daniel? Or are you asking what's her name?
I would say give me. Go ahead and make either Arcana or Insight.
Can
Right, it is. That's a fucking 7.
7. You are not.
I got a 3.
You okay? So you have no idea what kind of ritual that is
Mm-hmm.
that they did, but you do know because you've both seen the spectral form of a Landor that is on this plane.
Mm-hmm.
Me, many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So you know that there is one person that was there for the ritual.
If we could talk to him.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, can't you just
Okay.
tap into the stone and communicate with him? Have you tried?
I don't know if I've tried that.
You should absolutely try that.
You have the spell Contact Other Plane, which is part of the Moonstone. I haven't made it into your character sheet, but that
Okay.
is part of what Kinvara
It's like,
Okay.
connected you to, so that you
have
can
an,
basically contact her.
you have an interplanar fucking telephone. Damn it.
Yeah, it's
But
sort of a once a
other
it's like a
language.
once a day charge to talk to her.
Okay.
Or you could pray to the moon god.
Just writing this down.
Write it down. Write it down.
Um,
That's a lot of info.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
While we're
It's
discussing
wild
this,
writing this.
I think Grog is gonna kind of look himself over and just looking at like his garbs and like his armor and like his weapons. He's just gonna be like, I think we're gonna need better gear. Or at least I will. I'm not going to fight a fucking god with
Yeah.
leather armor.
Yeah, that's so true.
I'm
That's
literally
so
wearing the skin of another animal.
So I'm gonna tell her that we accept this quest on the terms that we all get checked out in new armor.
Oh shit. I was just gonna go
Yeah,
buy
that's
it, but if you want to tell her we're gonna do it.
no, we're doing this. She wants this done.
I mean, realistically, we're
We
doing it for
want it
everybody.
done too. No, I know it's an everybody thing, but like at the same time, like
Yeah.
help us out a little bit, maybe.
She takes a beat and she says, "You are at this point. Were you to, as you are now,
Mm-hmm.
although you are strong and brave and skilled,
Pretty.
the dragon would kill you
Yeah.
before you could scratch a scale on his hide.
Yeah, for
Doubt
sure,
it.
for sure.
I doubt it.
I would
Well,
suggest that you do what you must before challenging him in a final battle to gather your strength, gather allies, and then fight him in his true form.
but there's different parts of him in different places, so can't we take down one part first and then the next part and then the next part?
Perhaps doing so would certainly make him less powerful than his
Current state.
first form that the heroes failed to
I'm
destroy.
just doing some Horcrux math, so that makes me.
The queen goes, "What the fuck is a Horcrux?
So, yeah. So
Who is Voldemort?"
there's different parts of him in different places. Is it obvious what those parts are? Where are they? Are they alive? Are they dead? Are they inanimate object? Yeah. Do you
Go
know?
ahead and I would say another Arcana, or yeah, I think it would be straight up Arcana or Religion.
Ooh.
And go ahead with advantage because the other guys will say that they're giving you the help action, trying to recall some information about this.
So, right. So the piece that's here in the Feywild, would she know the location of it? Is that what we're trying to recall, or
Yeah, like just generally information about it.
okay?
Like,
I
is it
you
inside a person
yeah,
like other one? Like,
sure. So what'd you guys get for your rolls?
Oh shit.
I got. Oh,
Let's go
please, God,
religion, baby.
please roll, please, please.
The first one is a 19, and the second
Thank you.
one is a 7. So we're gonna go with a 19.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
And that was a religion
What were
check.
you
Oh,
religion?
Yep.
Okay. You would know sort of from your understanding of being someone who pulls your magic from a divine source.
Mm-hmm.
Entities have not a singular like part of their soul being brought into being as like a powerful entity can be or I should say, you are pulling your magic
Mm-hmm.
from like a part of a god
Yep.
that you are, depending on what your oath is, sort of you are pulling glory, you are pulling vengeance to channel yourself.
Sure.
Another entity that could be pulled and tried or attempted to be summoned in a ritual as you understand it. They would be called different things,
Mm-hmm.
not just like, as you would say, like vengeance or glory or what have you. The creature on the moon has said that they are the answer.
Mm-hmm.
The creature that is on the material plane that has part of it there,
Mm-hmm.
they've called the avatar,
Mm-hmm.
but its nature, the way that it is acting, is uh, violent and untamed,
Mm-hmm.
and its very presence caused demons to be summoned from the hells.
Sure.
So whatever like aspect of this dragon has been left in these different parts,
Mm-hmm.
its like mentality or its uh, basically like
Essence.
motivate. Yeah, its essence, its drive, whatever this fragment is that's been broken up,
Mm-hmm.
are not big. It's not like the whole of the dragon that's been split into 3.
Yep.
You're getting like part of it. You're
Mhm.
interacting with like a fragment of its power.
Yep.
Because they trapped a dragon in a humanoid.
Yeah.
And whatever the third part is that's been here,
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of an unknown to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
But you would know whatever the part of it that was sent to the Feywild, sort of an unknown to you, but you know it would be something that is destructive and malicious and just evil, something that would only cause misery and destruction.
Sure.
And, uh, it's funny that I'm trying to telegraph this, but Ada actually had well, I'm realizing you guys weren't there to hear Ada's flashback that she had. So I might read that to you guys because that actually does line up with this.
Mm.
let me grab my phone and read it to you, because that way you'll be able to make these connections yourselves. And
I
I
actually
don't have
to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, absolutely. I need to find the text anyways.
Hell yeah.
And no, I won't tell you this
Okay.
yet.
Um,
Or that's me thinking, and I'm like, there's stuff that's going to be revealed that this will make sense in the future.
okay.
Or should I say in the past?
Shit.
How we doing? How we feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm just looking over because Grog is transitioning from barbarian to paladin, and I'm just looking at the oaths, and like they're oops shit. Conquering presence. You channel your divinity to exude a terrifying. Oh yeah. I think I went with the oath of conquest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to flavor it right and like.
Yeah, I would say in truth,
Mm-hmm.
if you because you're, I mean, a little bit more invested in the character than the rest of the gang.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you want to pitch a homebrew idea of a different oath,
Oh.
I would be down for that. If you wanted to, if you have an idea for something that doesn't, if none of these are really like hitting home
Mm-hmm.
for you in terms of like where Grog wants to go,
Yeah.
um, with his kind of as the sword of Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, if you want to do something like vengeance themed ish,
Mm-hmm.
or something more like heroic, or go into like the giant thing, or lean into uh like I don't know, kind of up to you,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
demon slayer sort of kind of thing.
I like all of that stuff, and of course now I'm like in Reddit, like looking at like what else have people done?
Yeah,
Um.
yeah, for sure.
Oath of the Blade. What the fuck is that? The Blade Paladins vary in motivation and alignment. They all uphold the same tenets of swordsmanship. I don't know. That's more like fighter, I think.
Yeah,
Sacred
that sounds more like just martial.
Sacred Duel. As a bonus action, you can hold aloft your holy symbol and initiate a sacred duel between you and a creature within 30 feet who agrees to the duel. Marking you both as duelists for the duration, both duelists have resistance to all damage except for the damage from the other duelist. Yeah, it's kind of
Wow.
that's cool. Martial superiority, and then of course like you get superiority die and
Oh, so it's like Paladin meets Battlemaster.
yeah. All right,
I mean, interesting. If there's something a homebrew that really hits for you, that speaks to you,
yeah.
pitch it to me, and we can modify it.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going back and forth between them all, and
okay. I
Yeah.
mean, you got time. This is sort of like we're gonna jump back to the Cluebridge Six with like a sort of a time skip
yeah.
when or this after we cap this scene,
Mhm.
we'll jump to the sort of downtime stuff that happens in between when Ada is off doing her adventure with your other Feywild characters, who we will be doing the time jump forward with them.
Would it be a subclass?
Yeah.
Filter.
You should check. Oath of the Watchers actually might be good.
Oh yeah, I looked at that.
If you've seen that. Yeah, that's like you fight like eldritch horrors or something. Like
To
intraplanar.
invest your presence with the warding power of your faith. Number of creatures you can see within 30 feet of you. At advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. To cast unworldly beings as an action, you present your holy symbol on each apparition. Celestial, elemental, fey, or fiend within 30 feet of you. On a failed save, the creature is turned for 1 minute or until it takes damage. Damn. What do the oath spells look like? Oh! At 5th level, you get Moonbeam.
Hey!
Wouldn't that be fucking cool? But it's Oath of the Watchers, so maybe I'll shoot Moonbeam from my eyes. And I'll be like fucking Cyclops. um... When it says... Oh, I guess with Conquest, you use your channel divinity to exude a terrifying presence. Is that kind of like warlocks and their oh, what's that subclass that they can like change their appearance?
Can you read the ability again?
So this is, you can use your channel divinity to exude a terrifying presence. As an action, you force each creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, a creature becomes frightened of you for a minute. The frightened creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each turn.
Yeah, that's Archfey. You can do the class action Fey presence, but that's frightened or charmed, and at the smaller radius.
I do like.
I am playing a Warlock of the Archfey.
Heck yeah, I do like guided strike. So with your channel divinity, you strike with supernatural accuracy. When you make an attack roll, you can use your channel divinity to gain a +10 to the roll.
Holy shit!
Yep, but not to the damage roll, just the overall roll. It just says
to hit.
Yeah, I think it's a +10 to hit.
I would bring that down to a +5.
Damn.
I would say +5, or just roll with advantage, because rolling with advantage is mathematically equal to +5. So,
yeah. Damn, a +10? That's fucking wild.
Yeah, I mean, your plus your proficiency plus your strength, you're going to be rolling with like +15.
Yeah.
At a certain point, which is bonkers.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think +10 is. That's a bit much.
What were the spells that they had?
Okay,
Yeah,
Haley, you good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna jump back in time a little bit to recap something. When Ada, while you were at the lake on the edge of the forest and the edge of the swamp on the beach, and you had Ada
attune herself to her brother's sword.
Hmm.
She saw a vision, and then she did the remove curse to break the attunement. So this is what she sees and what you would see in sort of a first person,
Okay.
as you would have this memory um, of the bearer's final moments.
Mm.
So, black as you fall asleep, and the first thing that hits you is salt water stings as it fills your mouth through the hole that was your left cheek. Blood mixes with the raging water around you, and a flash of lightning glints on the spears of merfolk that wait for you to lose your hold on the line. Your left hand slips on the rope as you try to pull yourself up to the ship circling the lip of the whirlpool, but you hold on. A few more feet, and you'll be able to face step onto the deck. The thunder deafens you to the screams of a warning. A tentacle wraps around your leg and begins to pull and crush. Bones break, and flesh tears before you can react. Agony rips through you as brine meets raw flesh and marrow. Above, you see your companions lean over the rail, trying to pull against the strength of the creature that now holds you. A moment of clarity as you feel yourself going into shock. You cannot fight the strength of this aberration. You're dragged along the rope as you free one hand. Drawing your blade, you see your reflection for a moment. Your blue eyes have lost their luster, red hair dulled, skin pallid and tight across your skull. You raise your blade in a salute to your companions and cut the rope. Two more tentacles grab you as you fall into the torrent. You see the puppet that was once the archfey as the tentacles twist your body to face it. The eyes of the scaled humanoid stare at you with the unnatural gaze you've haunted for years. One black as the void, the other brighter than the sun. Its lipless mouth curls into a grin of anticipation. You are more flesh for it to rend and devour. A burst of flame burns the tentacles as you face step in front of the creature and plunge your sword into its throat. Calling on the magic of your oath, your sword burns with radiance as your weight drags the blade from neck to navel. Its screams of pain turn to a gurgle as the roiling mass of the appetite's black miasma pours from the host. The spell holding the whirlpool falters as you crash to the ground with the corpse. Looking up on your back, you stare up as the cone of water shrinks. Above, a silhouette is visible as your vision fades. Shalaria, halfway over the stern of the ship as it escapes the whirlpool. Her frame is thrashing and screaming, but held back by your companions. Your last thoughts are a silent prayer to your goddess. Raven Queen, let their end be more peaceful than mine own. Water crashes over you, and the last of Autumn's Kingsguard dies alone at the bottom of the sea. And
Damn.
then
Whoa.
you wake up.
Hmm.
So, what Shalaria told you that she and Ada are going to hunt the creature that killed her brother is what they call the appetite.
Hmm.
Holy shit.
And for reference,
Yeah.
that is Barian, Ada's brother.
That died.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
for reference, that is the strange miasma that they call the appetite that devours Archfey.
Mm-hmm.
in the Feywild.
And that's part of the dragon, I would assume.
Yep. You're able to piece that together.
Super duper. Love that for us. That's one part of 3. Drink up.
Cheers. Cheers to that, bro.
Shut
Drink
up.
up me. Whoa.
Right. So we jump forward back to the present. The Cluehbridge Six standing in the Queen of Air and Darkness's audience chamber, her throne room.
Mhm.
You have turned to her and sworn to do what Ada's ancestor and his adventuring party could not do. The Queen takes what you would sort of from the body language to be a breath, and she says, and so the dragon's name is said again after many thousands of years, and with a voice that is not her own, you feel this sort of like booming, otherworldly, celestial presence in this room, as the voice of a god speaks through her. This very dominant feminine voice just kind of like radiates through here, saying, slay Kazildrak, or he can bring an endless night to Salandran. And as this sort of washes over you, the queen says, and this may help you now in your journey that my mother has just commanded you for.
Mother.
And that's
boy.
where she stunts some magic towards you guys, and that's how your level up from 8 to 9 happens.
That's why, Seth.
Woot.
The other day we're looking at everybody's character sheets at work and we're like, why are some people 9?
Yep.
He's like, what level are you?
Yeah.
I was confused because like some people are like level 7 still, and I think
Yeah.
like Hallie was level 10, and I'm like, is that right? Like, I don't.
Yeah. Hallie has the level of warlock. Yeah.
Oh.
Because you made that pact.
Gotcha.
And then you guys individually, you have the like personal quest. So at different points in the adventure, you'll level up separately, sort of like that.
Mm-hmm.
To
Sweet.
kind of boost you guys so it's not just the one-to-one.
There's so much that there's more shit I can do at 10th level. God damn it.
Yep. This is, I think, 5th or 6th level spells
Mm-hmm.
for you. Yeah, so you get a lot
But
more spells. But after you hear this dragon's name,
mhm.
the camera cuts away from the Cluehbridge Six, and we see a room where the sounds and smells of a bustling, vibrant city market is muffled by curtains that cover the windows of this room that has no door.
Hmm.
5 people are standing in front of a large, ornate mirror. And in the moment that they hear that name, from another plane. They glance at each other, but then turn and refocus on the projection of their master that stands before them on the surface of the moon.
What? They're about.
And then we're back with the Cluebridge Six. So,
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So much today. Oh,
Oh
my
my
god. They did
God.
all of one session that we weren't there. God damn it. That's
yeah,
so much.
it truly was. I ramped. I will say, like, in the meta sense, I ramped through a lot of stuff without having um,
Yeah.
Azalea here
Yeah.
to clarify stuff, because it was like a lot more information, and everybody else just said, "Okay,"
Hmm.
Okay,
to the
gotcha.
quest. Yeah, didn't have to
So it
do a
didn't feel like
whole.
quite as much. Yeah.
Yep, didn't have to do as much clarification, or like, yes, you would know this, and backstory. It was a little bit more of just like, we're at a ball, and then the queen's like, kill a dragon, and they all went, yeah. Before we end, this is sort of like the downtime
Mm-hmm.
area that you guys hit for the in between time, where Ada, after that, leaves with her sister Shalaria to go to the Autumn Court, to deal with some business there,
Goodness.
to kill this thing that had killed their brother, because they slash Shalaria has a plan to finally kill this thing. With Ada's help, they're going to take care of that. So,
That's one 3 parts.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
What'd you say, Haley?
So
That's one of the 3 parts that we have to kill. So
She's gonna go do that by herself?
apparently, with her sister.
Okay, cool.
she did.
Cool.
Ada and Shalaria did have sort of conversation back and forth, and she said, "This business is Fae business," and she tracked the creature
Mm-hmm.
back to Warmstone Abbey, and had gathered a few friends that Ada used to know and hasn't seen for a while,
So the band's
to
getting
help.
back together.
Yeah, one last job.
The boys are back in town.
Is that going to be like a one shot or?
That is going to be the time jump that we do with your guys that
Ooh.
are in the backstory one shot currently.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, yeah, I get to be Araxis. I love him.
Gathered some friends.
Wink.
Hmm,
Yep.
Wow.
cool.
Yeah,
Fun.
so that's sort of a side conversation that happened with Shalaria, where she was basically like, "You've got your friends, but this is business that we should do alone, to
Mhm.
sort of take care of this thing," unknowing that this is
Right into
another, yeah, another fragment of the dragon. But
they don't know. Oh.
yeah,
Hmm.
but you guys are sort of able to piece that together, like, oh, of course,
Yeah.
if there's
Right.
another part here.
That
Yeah.
sounds awfully a lot like it. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, good.
Mhm.
On the nose. You got it. Um,
Yep.
cool. So a lot of information you guys are able
Yeah.
to sort of absorb, plan. You know that you've got, basically, this is the downtime where the rest of the party did some other stuff, rock connected with the weave some more. Zephyrus started mapping the Feywild. And that was sort of their downtime stuff that they wanted to do. So for you guys, if there's stuff that you want to do in the Winter Court while Ada's away, this is sort of like where you would do that. So Grog, if you want to find get that like armor made by like some elven smiths, you'll basically be rolling this stuff with advantage because you have the queen's like palace assistants helping you with this.
I also want a dope new setup.
Yeah. The thing that you recognize though, as you go to like get equipment to sort of replace the things that you have from the mundane smiths and artisans, you have thousands of gold, but gold isn't used as currency. In the Feywild, they have no monetary system. What
Yeah.
they use is a system of barter and trade of things of value, and not just things that you would consider like, oh, it's a physical object that it's shiny.
Yeah.
Some traders, as you're going through, you see like a potion seller that is like pulling teeth out of people to hold on to it.
Oh,
Another
wow.
person is like just taking like drops of blood in a vial and fully handing someone like a plate of mail, but putting it in this big row of like a phylactery. Like witches that are taking locks of hair or fully just like shaving all of the fur off of a critter folk to tattoo these giant markings on them.
Whoa.
It seems there's strange deals made with these fey creatures that don't take money.
Sure. Okay.
So, what are you looking for in this sort of like strange marketplace as like these little fey attendants, like little snow elementals are like showing you around the city?
Yeah. Um, honestly, yeah, just like armor type, different outfit. I have a fucking dress on, so let's not fight a dragon with that.
A battle skirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah. Sure. You are able to make your way down to this sort of like smithing area. You see a handful of people, like they're like smiths that are making stuff specifically for critter folk who need to
Yeah.
have really flexible armor because they can both be used and worn like bipedally and on all fours, like as a quadruped. Um, the hairfolk need stuff that they can jump incredibly far, so it has to be very lightweight while still being something like half plate. Bear folk that are much stronger need things that are much heavier for that kind of stuff. But you do see others that are making armor for just Eladrin and other elf and humanoid type creatures. There are leather workers, ones that are crafting very fine leatherwork, smiths crafting breastplates and helms and greaves. Anything that you are really looking for, you can find it here. If you wanted something that was magical, something that was infused with either mechanically to be mithril armor or adamantine.
What is that?
With mithril is armor that will not give you disadvantage on stealth checks, whereas certain types of armor do. And adamantine armor will negate any critical hits. It turns it into a regular hit.
That's interesting. Okay. Um,
So those are
maybe.
the sort of like two infused magical types of armor that seems to be available here. as well as if you're not looking for that, something else would be armor that is like either a shield or armor that is +1 or even +2. But
Yep.
the higher you go with something that is like more uh, has more like defense capabilities, that will require more to barter with what you have that's either, you know, body part or uh, the things on your person. But
Mhm.
I will say you do see like a smith that is trading just like a full suit of armor for what looks like these strange, like weird, uh like jars of like caviar
Yeah.
and just like strange plants and weird little like critters in like a cage that are like skittering around and like singing weird little like jaunty tunes.
Interesting.
Oh,
Let me pull up my character sheet
so
real quick.
go with me here. I was just looking at Hero Forge just to get some ideas of things.
Sure.
And I just stumbled upon this outfit and it has the hand thing
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You have your like
and
gauntlet.
yeah, and it has like I don't know what it is, but I'm sending it in the chat. It's dope as fuck. It's like some kind of face shield.
Oh hell yeah. Oh, you know what I will also say is here that is an option.
Yeah.
There are magical tattoos that
Yep.
can function as armor. Um,
Cool. Yep.
if you
Right.
don't
I
want to go
remember.
for a suit, there are ones that can be done. The higher the armor class, the more it covers your body,
Hmm.
I will say is here. You don't have dwarven tattooists here. You can't. They're much more specific to the material plane. That would have the ones that do have sort of like magical powers and effects that come with them. Um, but there are tattooists here that can give you an AC that would be equivalent to armor, but you'd just be walking around with the clothing.
I'm gonna take the visor off because that's kind of I don't really have a purpose for it, to be honest. But it did say it was a Seeker AR visor. It's augmented reality stuff.
Oh yeah, that's like the what is it called? Barrier tattoo.
Yeah, not quite.
Yeah. Okay, so this is a
Um,
Tasha's thing. Um, when you aren't wearing armor, the tattoo grants you an armor class depending on the tattoo's rarity. Um, you can use a shield and still gain this benefit. Um,
Can I get a kind of armor? Okay, so it's confusing. So the Moonstone Circlet can be used to my disadvantage, even though I am attuned to it, because I remember being pulled in a dream.
yes, that is a thing
Oh.
that happens the like mechanics time-wise. If you're on the
Yeah.
material plane, it was something that Kinvara mentioned. It was
Hmm.
basically on a new moon
Hmm.
is when you have to make that charisma save or be like your like dream self is like pulled to the moon
Okay.
to interface with the uh, creature.
Yep. Hmm.
Which a bunch of your predecessors uh, just didn't allow him to influence them.
Right.
So long as you carry on that tradition,
Of rolling well. You too, Ken.
yeah. Or just saying, but he can't. From your interaction, I know it was a while ago, or
Yeah.
it was a while ago. It was basically you said "fuck off," no, and he just
Yeah.
got mad, but then couldn't do anything because you're just
Okay.
a dream projection.
Okay.
Um, that gets pulled there. Let me. Okay,
I
so
also want a new staff with like a pointy end.
uh, that would be a spear,
Yeah.
or you could do a glaive if you wanted to do that. polearm. The glaive is like a polearm with like a sword blade on the end,
Mhm.
slashing weapon. I know you're not like proficient in it, but we can just say you are. Okay, so for medium armor, you currently, I believe, have a breastplate.
Mhm.
You could go with half plate,
Mhm.
which is 15. Your AC would be 15 plus your dex. And a shield always gives you +2 to your armor.
Mhm.
For Grog,
Mm-hmm.
you have proficiency with heavy armor
Yes,
now.
sir.
So you can go all the way up to plate. But you've got what is your AC right now?
It's a 16. Yes.
16?
Yeah.
Okay. So going up from that with heavy armor, you would go splint or plate.
Which splint? It's like segmented, right at the joints.
Splint is like
I gotta like look it
it's
up.
yeah, it's like what you would call like lamellar armor. They call it splint, but it's weird. It's basically like riveted plates that are like segments. Yeah.
Or splint armor or what? Plate?
Splint or lamellar. You can actually, if you pull up Baldur's Gate splint armor, you'll see what it looked like. It's basically like overlapping plates, sort of, with like chainmail underneath.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
So
So
it was.
description:
Yep.
narrow strips of metal riveted to a backing of leather,
Mm-hmm.
which is worn over Under Armour, like padding or chainmail.
Gotcha.
Yep.
I think that's kind of
And
cool.
medium armor for you, Azilia.
Mhm.
You add your dex modifier up to 2 for
Okay.
medium armor. So what is your dex modifier currently?
2 + 2.
Okay, awesome. So if you went for half plate, that's pretty much the highest you could get,
Okay.
which would be 15 plus dex, so you'd have an AC of 17.
Mhm.
However, half plate does have disadvantage on stealth checks.
Mm.
So if you wanted to go with mithril, there's that. However, other medium armor that I think you have a best breastplate right now.
Yeah, I do.
Yep. So you could just get a breastplate that's a +1 or +2 to boost the AC, and that breastplate would remain as not giving you disadvantage on armor.
Yeah, we'll do that, I guess.
Okay.
Makes
You're
more
gonna
sense.
try and barter for a +1 breastplate. Bring your
Yeah.
AC up by 1. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut my hair.
Going for a haircut. Oh boy.
Yeah. I need a haircut anyways. Just convenience at this point.
Awesome. Go get a new breastplate and a haircut at the same place,
And they're
because
like,
obviously,
"Ooh, it's white and shiny."
yeah, it's twin eladrins that one fits you for the armor, while the other one gives you a haircut, and they also have like this weird little elemental that like brings you a drink. So it's like one of those like full service
Wow.
things. Yeah.
Not too
They
bad.
definitely offer you some like weird fey drugs. They're like, do you like halfling pipe leaf or elven longleaf? We also have dwarven crushed gems, and I mean that's only if you want it. We can also just give you something that's a little bit less. Not sure from the material plane. I don't know how this would like interact. You've got the fey ancestry, so you might not go insane. Up to you.
I mean, I'm just gonna steer clear of the mind altering effects of anything. So
Okay, so just the armor and the haircut then.
yeah, I'm gonna go with that. You know.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's fine. It's complimentary, but totally fine. If you want it to go and give it to someone else, that's also fine. Uh, okay, awesome. So, um, I will say whatever you are offering from your like, basically this is sort of like an empty your pockets thing where you're like, I'll give you all of this, for like this breastplate haircut. Don't worry, that's just like they're like, we just want the memory of like your first time swinging on a vine.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh.
so like you lose that? Do you lose that memory of you swinging on a vine for the first time?
Yeah.
I think.
Oh my god, that's actually sad. Because that's like your whole thing. You're like, I love the jungle, and I love swinging
Yeah,
from
I
a
know.
vine.
That's why Daniel did it. I mean, is there any others that you're interested in?
They're both winter eladrin, so like, well, I mean, we heard that you're from like the jungle, so like, have you ever had what is it called? And they're like back and forth. They're like, it's a yellow fruit. It doesn't. It it's like long. They have it in the winter court, but they don't keep here
Haley,
because it's so cold. They don't taste like anything.
Haley,
What?
a
What?
yellow fruit.
It's like
Yeah?
like monkeys eat them, and they're I don't
Banana?
know. That's the one. They're both like and they say it at the same time.
I happen to have some banana seeds in my bag.
Do you actually?
Perfect. It
Yeah,
is a
totally.
frozen sort of like glacier where we live and work, so we can't plant those, but we would take mm,
Well, I don't
maybe
have
the
it with me.
first.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is like we would take the memory of the first time you had one.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Okay, great. One of them leans in and just like gives you a kiss, and you've forgotten the first time, and he goes, "Hmm, delicious, wonderful. Okay, haircut coming right up. What would you like?"
Um, uh,
Can't believe you traded the memory of your first banana.
how much do you need?
Or what? Gotta be more specific there, love.
For the breastplate, how much of my hair do you need?
Oh, the haircut was for the memory. The breastplate, we need
Oh.
something more physical.
Oh.
As hair
Okay.
doesn't keep as much as a thing that we have made by hand, things that are made by another's hands or comes from you yourself. We're not so interested as some of the others. And he like gestures across the street, and like this like weaponsmith that's made this great axe, like a person puts their hand on an anvil and he just like chisels
What?
off one of their fingers. It's like,
Ah.
we're not a flesh trader like that. And you see it's like this big badger folk, and he just fully eats the guy's finger, and the guy just like covers the stump and then walks away. Ada
Okay.
has Faybane in her pack.
Gotcha. Okay, great.
Um,
See, I thought okay, so I'm confused. So I thought that the oh, I thought the memory was for I'm confused. I thought I was cutting some of my hair for the breastplate and you needed it extra, so I did the memory.
no, sorry, love. Just a memory for the haircut. Because,
Oh.
sorry, I should specify. We can glamour your hair so you will never need a haircut again.
Oh,
Magic
okay.
of the Fae, my dear.
What do you need? Yeah, but underneath I'd be really ratty. What what do you need
Oh,
for the
no, we
breastplate?
mean we infuse it with magic so it looks perfect all the time.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, yeah, we could do that.
Yes,
Okay.
a memory for a perfect haircut?
Yes.
Perfect. Wonderful. They bring out these like shears that they attach to their hands, and they're like, all right, stay still. And just like, whatever you decide your new hair to be,
Uh-huh.
that will stay in like a perfect cut. however you wish. You've traded now a memory for that. But for the breastplate, that is much more of a material object. They will require something that is physical.
But
Mm.
not from my
And
body because they don't want to do that.
You know, they're not
yeah,
dolls. They're not
yeah.
fruits.
This is more like we need object for object.
Okay. Let's see. Hmm.
Because they do, I will say, like they do come out with this like very finely crafted elven, sort of like almost blue tinted, but they can like rub it so that it has a glamour that looks like wood or metal or ice or like even fabric, whatever, but it just stays incredibly hard. So it's a breastplate that he's like shaping into the shape of yours. So he says, I
So
mean, whatever else you have that I've never been a huge collector of mm, arms and armor for the material plane. It would be interesting to see what they have made, and kind of like looking over your equipment. And he says, but I do love things that are precious and delicate. As much as I swing a hammer very often, and he like flexes, and he's got these big biceps. He's like things that are delicate and charming as well. Continues like hammering on the breastplate to like fashion it for you. Uh, so up to you what you barter for this new breastplate.
Hello?
Haley might have frozen.
That's a perfect pose to be frozen at.
Yep. It'd just be like, I'm
She's just
here.
stunned. Interesting.
Okay, while she figures that out,
Awkward.
Frog,
Yeah.
you are looking for what kind of armor, I believe.
I looked up the splint and the splint armor in Baldur's Gate. It looks really cool. And so I'm looking for the splint armor, and then I have a question.
Yep.
Because we are at a smithy. Oh, Haley's back. We can cut back to her. Hello? There she is.
my bad.
No, you're good.
My bad.
Here, cut back to Haley. I gotta pee, so just keep going.
Okay,
Keep going, and I'll be back.
sure. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying
Don't stay.
it would be interesting to see what the material plane had for gear, I think.
Yes, more or less. Everything we make here is somewhat fanciful, and it's all quite not as rough and made by eh, those of not the same skill. So it'll be almost interesting to keep as somewhat of a piece to remind us that we're much better than those other craftsmen.
All right. Well, all right. I have an armor wood breastplate that won't be quite nearly as good as yours.
Fascinating. Well, he kind of like looks at it and is like, crafted by magical wood. Interesting. Quite interesting. If you wish, you are of the woodlands yourself.
I'm back.
Yes, that's where it came from.
Fascinating.
What's up?
Strange. If you were to bring... Do you know if this is ironwood, you said?
Armor wood.
Armor wood. Interesting.
The armor wood tree.
I am a metalsmith. If you were to take this to a crafter,
Mm-hmm.
a wood carver, I believe there is one somewhat down the street. They may be able to, as much as I would trade my armor for yours, they can craft quite impressive runes that would do much the same thing as mine. Because, in truth, this made by another elven smith, I would not be willing to keep this.
Okay. Fair enough. Thank you for that insight. I'll go check it out.
Very well. Just the haircut then, darling. And the other one finishes your haircut. And you're able to take your breastplate down. Completely forgot that yours was made of wood. So this other crafter, I will say, effectively, depending on what you trade him, um, in terms of whatever you have on you, magical items or otherwise, he could inscribe runes on this that would make it either mostly either into like an adamantine breastplate, or he could have the armor grow out to become the equivalent to mithril half plate for you, but made of basically this magical wood, or just a +1 to the breastplate. I would say it would be easier to just say a +1 breastplate or adamantine if he carves these magical runes into it.
Say Mantine do again, sorry.
Adamantine will make it so that if you get hit by a crit, like a natural 20, it turns it into a regular hit. You don't get the critical damage.
How likely are you to get critted?
I know, that's why it's like, yeah, I'll just do the +1. That's, yeah.
A +1?
Okay, yeah.
Yep. What, Seth? What?
Nothing. Out of all the
Awesome.
combat, I feel like...
Yeah.
Never mind.
So the crafter takes it. It's actually like a beaver folk. He's like, I just use my teeth to do this and just bite through it just a little bit and make a little bit of there's some old family recipes that are carved into it that makes it just incredibly strong. Not to worry, it's written in Sylvan, so you'll be able to read it, but anyone from the material plane, they'll just think it looks quite fancy. Sort of lots of runes and carvings, but it'll really just be a recipe for a really nice goulash that my grandmother made. But enough protection as the grandmother's goulash can give you. So, a little bit of magic for a little bit of what have you, dear.
I have this old armorwood breastplate.
My dear, this is what I'm going to inscribe the runes
Sorry.
on.
My bad.
I'm gonna take this.
Yeah, I'm already taking it. I forgot, sorry.
Kind of gestures to the other objects that are in here, and he says, I would take anything that has wooden hafts or other thing that I like to carve and get my teeth into.
Okay. Let's see what I have.
So this would be like if you've got shields or like pole arms would
Yeah.
be what to
A
trade
staff?
this guy.
Like a quarterstaff?
I'm not giving you my fucking quarterstaff. Shut up. I don't really think I have. Oh no, I do have a shield, but what is it made of?
Wood?
It's okay. Yeah, I guess I will just give him my frickin' wood shield.
Wood.
I have this wood shield.
Says wood, solid craftsmanship. He like bites it a little bit and he says, good, but to give you a recipe just for a shield, my dear, I'm going to need just something a little bit more.
All right.
Something of
I don't
value.
Okay, I have these things that we found in a very remote location underground. They are ornamental dragon eggs.
Ooh. Interesting.
You have dragon
No,
eggs?
they're not. I'm gonna say egg, by the way, not eggs. I'm gonna say one egg. I have one egg, one ornamental dragon egg. I'm not quite sure what it does. It does shine quite a bit. If you hold it just up into the light, you can kind of see through it a little bit.
Is there an
It could
embryo
be
in there?
ornamental. It could be real. I don't know. But I have been carrying it for some time. Um, waiting to trade
Interesting.
it with the right person. So
I must say, my dear wife loves a shiny object. And he says, Magdalene, Magdalene, come in here. And you see another beaver folk come out, and she says, Oh, darling, that is so beautiful. Absolutely. You've got to trade it. Your mother's recipe is absolutely worth it, kind of thing. And he says, All right, for my Magdalene. And he gives her a kiss on the cheek. She says, Very well, girl. I'll take it. And you have my grandmother's recipe inscribed on it, and it shall be so. Just to come back in just an hour or so. Have to make this quite perfect and just a little bit of fey magic in here. Off you go. He takes the dragon egg and the shield, and you have a little bit of time to wander, peruse the market, while he infuses your armor to be a breastplate +1. And we'll cut over to Grog.
Ew.
You are looking for some splint mail.
Yep. And I also have a minor request.
Yeah, what's up?
So I've got like my great axe, right?
Mhm.
It's +1. As
Yep.
the sword of Atlas, would it be possible to smelt this metal down and make a great sword out of it?
I would say if you went to, there's certainly a weaponsmith that you could find.
Yeah.
You definitely see it's probably another Eladrin that's like working in a smithy, much more like muscular than the other Eladrins who are very like svelte.
Sure.
He's kind of like short and stocky. Looks
Mhm.
like he has some like dwarf blood in them almost. And you see he has like really elegant weapons that are made, but it looks like he mostly makes the kind of like very fancy swords that you saw with like the duelists wearing at the party, like very like ornamental, but you can see that there's like inscriptions on it to give them, they have this like little bit of magical aura.
Gotcha.
Looks like someone that can actually make sort of magical weapons.
Gotcha.
But you come in with the axe, and he looks at it and he says, my, something finely crafted. And he like looks at the edge and he says, and silver too. Suppose I smelt this down with something from, what is it that you're, and he kind of like walks around you, looks around and he says, someone from the mountains.
We have obsidian
Obsidian.
from the mountains.
I could infuse it with not exactly obsidian, but we do have volcanic ore, I think. Someone of your ilk, you have the aura of someone a little bit more pure than you would like it would turn the blade mostly black. Would look quite. And he like looks at the other swords that he has, which are all this like elegant kind of like silver. And then like points to like one suit of armor that has this like almost like absorbing the light that's in the smithy that's still got like all these like fey lamps that's giving it this like kind of warm glow. It just looks like this suit of armor that's just like absorbing all the light. And he says, that's made of obsidian.
Shit.
If you're going for that kind of vibe, that could work. But we also have, and he gestures to this like other sort of like sword that's almost like glowing with its own, like it's reflecting the light in a way that just makes it like just sort of illuminated. He says, I could smelt that down. It's from a meteorite. So sort of one of a kind. The heart of a fallen angel, more or less, that crash landed in the tundra north of here. So perhaps infusing the two of them, it would take some time, but it could be done. I would require something beyond the material for this, though.
Oh, what did you have in mind?
Well, and he does kind of grin, and you can tell this guy is beyond just an Eladrin. He says, "It's an archfey. I would take a pact from you, a promise."
I've made promises before. What did you have in mind?
Very well. You are not quite a knight, but noble enough. Promise fealty to me, and
Holy shit!
Oh.
perhaps, or here's this.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of like kind of looking at all of your tattoos. Uh, he says, "You walk bare-chested more of the time, or are you one that wears armor?"
Yeah, I mean, I think currently right now I'm wearing like a leather armor. But like if I was like
Okay.
at home, I'd probably like have like a shirt and like basic trousers. You know,
Very well.
I was a
I
barbarian in my
would
past life.
Magical boxers.
Tactical trunks.
certainly.
Anyway, sorry.
He kind of like grins and he says, "Fealty to me in that," and he says this in kind of like an echoing voice, like a presence
Mm-hmm.
as he says this. You would buy no weapon or armor from one other than me, and any that would offer, you would refuse in a way unbecoming of one of your station.
So if I'm
Weird.
offered,
You gotta act a fool.
uh,
He just kind of crosses his arms and he's like, "Think what you will, mortal.
all right.
If not that, I would take," kind of like looks around you and he says, "I have a brother that is Smith, and
Mhm.
would be interesting for a new contraption that he's made." And kind of looks around and he says, "Which hand is yours that you use most often?"
I'm
God.
I'm left-handed.
Left? Interesting. You would be
Cuts off
an
the laptop.
excellent, well, in truth, an excellent fighter. It is much more common, I believe, on the material plane for those to be right-handed. So, perfect opportunity. Cousin of mine, armor smith just down the way.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your left arm. I'll give you the sword. He will attach the armor to you.
So
How's that sound?
I just would be without an arm.
Yeah, what?
Oh, no, sorry. The contraption that he has,
Mm-hmm.
something from the
Would
material
be-
plane. He's very excited to
Mm-hmm.
find it, but no one willing to do it so far. A prosthetic of a kind.
I'd have to see this prosthetic.
Yeah, you gotta see the prototype.
Yeah, can I see the prototype before we fucking do this? Because I'm not putting
Sure.
a wooden arm on my body.
Yeah. So you excuse yourself momentarily, walk down.
Mm-hmm.
You see, now that you've seen the guy that looks like he is a little bit dwarf,
Mm-hmm.
you see a dwarf that's a little bit Eladrin.
Okay.
Sort of like the same kind of like pale blue skin.
Sure.
Turns around, but all the other Eladrin that you've seen has no beard, but this dwarf. He's like taller and slimmer, but he has the massive like
He's dwarf
down
on
to
his
his
dad's side.
navel.
Got it.
Yeah, dwarf on his dad's side, exactly.
Little in
Um,
the middle, but he got much back.
Yeah.
yeah, and he's like, "Oh, you went to Falethriel then? Yes, of course, my cousin. Oh, the prototype. Of course, of course." He goes and like picks up what looks like sort of like what is the arm of the suit of armor,
Mm-hmm.
and brings it over, and you can see it is what looks like a warforged arm that you've seen before. It's articulated, but
Oh.
warforged that have just two fingers
Mhm.
and a thumb on them for the most part. Not like a mitten,
Mm-hmm.
but like two. Yeah, very much like that. So it's like
Gotcha.
might be less dexterous, but I would be fascinated to see how it works on the material plane, especially as a left-handed fighter yourself. It would prove that my artificery better than those of my kin on the material plane.
Yeah. I would do it if we could get some extra appendages, i.e., fingers.
Oh, it's going to say you want another arm,
Yeah,
dear
give me
boy.
2 robot arms. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Please, God. Please, Atlas, no.
So not you don't want a third arm? We could do it off the shoulder or out the side, perhaps. Might have to go. There's a witch, I think, on the other side of town that could do that. It might not be. It won't
Oh
be
my God.
mechanical, but
Let's just. I'll look at his cousin who proposed the deal. I pledge fealty to only one. Take the arm.
Oh,
very well. The arm for the sword,
God.
and do you wanted armor as well?
Yes, sir.
That you were coming in. Very well. I think we can do that. Very good.
Do
Uh,
you need something
he
material for that, or like?
no. We'll just take your arm.
Oh, okay. Shit.
Very good.
Shit. Okay.
Certainly. Fantastic. I said, wonderful. You go back to the smith. He
Oh, no.
wraps your arm. Another this like strange archfey that's like this sort of like bird person
Mm-hmm.
comes over, but it's got like 4 wings and these big like talons that are like super long.
Okay.
And it just with like one strike just cuts through your arm like perfectly. You don't even feel it. It's so sharp. Uh, it does just like a little bit of magic that like all of your blood sort of stops. He
Mm-hmm.
says, "All right, there we are." And the weaponsmith, your arm in one hand, your axe in the other. He says, "It'll be a few days. I'll send a runner as soon as this is ready. Off to my cousin with you." Turns around, begins to get to work. You you walk down, your arm missing. You go to the other smith. He's there with another archfey that's sort of this like spidery armed, what has uh, like they look like spiders' arms, but they're made
Mm-hmm.
of like ice and
Oh,
frost.
cool.
Does sort of like an ice welding around your arm to attach it. You immediately have full motor function of this metal arm that goes down. It does sort of a similar thing, dismantling the two like puppets. So you have now 4 fingers.
Yes.
The armor smith does some like filing to make them a little bit more smooth. He
Mhm.
says, I would suggest no, because this is metal fully. I can plate it so it stays that it would more likely shred any. It might work if you cover it with leather that's reinforced, but that is not my expertise or some glamour on it would cover it, but you will more or less shred through any fabric or leather that's on this. But the rest of the armor, I can fit you for and craft it in a few days.
Can I request something to be put, like, kind of molded into the armor?
Over the arm?
Or, yeah, I'll do both. Yes, and can I?
All right.
So Grog is gonna kneel down, and he's gonna remove his pack, and he's gonna take out this little wooden chest. And he's never showed this to anyone. He's never even shown it to, like, the party.
The DM.
The DM, yeah. The DM. He's gonna take out this kind of dusted piece of fabric, and what is it actually called? Oh, it's literally just a flag. He's gonna unfold it and give it a, and like you see some kind of dust fly off of it, and in the center of this tattered flag is the sigil of a flaming griffin.
Okay.
And he's gonna just kind of gesture, like, maybe like right in the center of the chest, and then maybe like up. Well, I guess it depends on where the arm was attached.
He cut it off like at the bicep. So you're like,
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just engrave, like, do like a kind of the same thing, maybe like along the forearm, just like a phoenix kind of tribute. We'll flavor it.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He makes a note, does a sketch, shows it to you. You get it just as you like. He says, perfect. Inscribed, and it shall be so. Very good. Right,
Sweet.
off with you. I may get to work now.
Solid.
You head out. You have a new metal arm.
Oh my god, they're all gonna be so scared. Like, where the fuck did your arm go?
Yeah. So I believe in D&D Beyond, you can add a new item to your inventory, which is a prosthetic arm.
Am I proficient with this arm?
It is more or less a. It's effectively it's an Arcanotech sort of arm, but infused with Fey magic instead of arcane magic. So you now have a metal Fey arm that looks like something that is not capable of being made on the material plane.
I'm trying to find it in, like, inventory.
Yeah, if you add it, it might just be called prosthetic something, I think. It's a Tasha's item.
If I could spell prosthetic correctly.
Prosthetic limb is what it's called.
Oh. No, I don't see it. Proficient, common, magical, container. None of the above.
Nope, it's just a magical item. It's a wondrous item. Common. Great. So Grog has a prosthetic limb. He's going to have a new set of splint mail armor, and you will have a sword that you're turning this into a greatsword. Your axe is currently a +1.
Mm-hmm.
I will say with what you have given up for this, your arm, it is. I think a fair trade would be. I would say this.
Yep.
There is a blade of, I believe it's called a blade of viciousness or a vicious blank sword
Mm-hmm.
or sword of slaying.
Or the Holy Avenger Greatsword. What the fuck is that?
Or sword of slashing.
Why isn't any of this stuff showing up? Is it because I didn't call it a greatsword?
Sort of sharpness.
Sharpness. The greatsword of sharpness.
Yes.
When you attack a creature with this weapon and roll a 20 on the attack roll, that target takes an extra 14 slashing damage.
Yep.
Then roll another d20. If you roll a 20, you lop off one of the target's limbs. Adding it. What would the stat for the armor be?
I'm gonna say that is gonna be the flat splint mail.
Okay, I'll just add that then.
Because it's not any kind of infusion or
splint.
Yeah, it's just splint, we'll say. Cool. And Azilia got the magical did we say that was the +1?
Yep.
Correct? For that? Awesome.
So am I adding that to us, or how do I do that?
Sweet. Did you want to turn the quarterstaff into a spear, or are you still gonna hang on to that as a quarterstaff?
That'd be kind of cool.
Does it have any disadvantages of doing that?
Let me pull up. I believe you are proficient in simple weapons.
Yep.
So it's a pole arm quarterstaff. It's a d6 of bludgeoning. So it's basically you would change the bludgeoning to piercing damage.
Yep.
Or I would say if you wanted to turn it into a glaive, that would turn it into because
right now I have the Sylvan Oak staff.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the weapon types. You could basically turn it into another polearm weapon if you wanted to do that.
I'd like to be able to do piercing, I guess.
What? You want to do piercing?
Can I still do shillelagh with that?
No, because it's no longer a club or quarterstaff.
But then you can just sub out shillelagh for a different thing.
Yeah, but shillelagh is a bonus action for me.
Do you have any other spells that are bonus actions?
Mm-mm.
You should have Misty Step and I think one other spell.
I don't see it.
That's surprising. I would have thought Druid had Misty Step.
Never had Misty Step.
Oh.
Oh, I got to attune to the great sword of sharpness.
Let's wait.
Also, I just kept looking, and I don't know if it's D&D Beyond, but I can't seem to add that arm.
Oh, weird.
Yep.
Okay. I might have to do it for you.
Okay. Not a huge deal, but
I would say if you're really feeling that you want to do the turn it into a spear, I would allow shillelagh with your magical fist because you've got the moonstone embedded in your hand.
That'd be cool. Well, unarmed strike action.
Yeah, unarmed strike. So I would say you could turn it into a D4, call it a club, and shillelagh with a club.
Okay. How do
instead.
I do that? So Are you gonna do that?
So you can just go to your inventory and manage inventory, and then add a club.
Yeah, and you could rename it just like Fist of Moonstone Fist.
Yeah, asterisk Moonstone Fist.
Yeah. Because
Add
you can, if you
customize.
click on an item, you can rename it, and then it'll give it a little asterisk so like you know what it is. But then you'll basically be like, I'm shillelaghing my fist, punch a
Asterisk
guy with a
Moonstone Punch.
Moonstone punch.
Fists
Uh,
of moonbeams.
Cool. I will say you can bring the Sylvan Oak staff to the um, same weaponsmith. Getting a spearhead put on this. It'll still use the magic of the staff. So just adding a spearhead to it that'll imbue it. It's a little bit more of a mundane process. So it's not going to be something as magical that he needs or a full arm, but something material, another weapon of sorts that would be traded to craft something mundane. Because everything he has is mostly like magical stuff. So
Mhm.
basically, trade out a sword or something that you have to like forge it into a new spearhead.
So silly. Yeah.
So basically, you would lose the quarterstaff +1, and if you have like a long sword, get rid of those, and then you would add a spear +1.
Seth, you can help me do this on Monday.
Yes. No, Tuesday.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
We have Monday off.
Okay, so adding spear.
You know what's great too?
Mm.
Is I have great weapon fighting, and anytime I roll a 1 or a 2, I can just re-roll those die.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
So you're gonna slash the shit out of these guys.
Mm-hmm. Wow. What a session.
What a sesh. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. We didn't do a whole lot of shopping stuff last. I don't think we've ever actually done it before. I think this is
No.
the most like we've done. Sweet.
I was gonna say if you asked for something material, I was gonna give you the flag. That's why I took it out.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, no, I get to keep it. Haha.
Yeah. No, material was just they took your arm.
Yep. Makes sense.
Fully an arm.
Damn.
So we'll see what happens with that arm at some point.
It's gonna fall
Or maybe
off.
we won't see what happens to it.
Oh
my
no.
gosh.
Do I have to attune to the limb?
I don't believe so.
That'd be crazy. Ooh, I wonder how it works with my Fist of the Giant. Does it do metallic damage?
I believe that does force damage because you're like empowering
Yeah.
the strike, or just do bludgeoning.
I'm so excited to use that again.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
That is. Uh,
I almost wanted to get my arm also cut off
Why?
because I want some really sick moonstone arm.
I mean, you can
I mean,
still put the moonstone on your arm.
I already do. I just don't know if that would work with attunement. But I can just like picture, okay, cutting off my arm, and the moonstone like fusing.
so you just get a big gem arm.
Yeah.
You could be that alien from Ben 10, the crystal dude.
Yeah. I think that would be a
I don't
little
want to
bit.
do it.
Yeah, that would be a little bit more of a. Uh, you're gonna need to give up some like magic shit
Like you
for
can't
like a
turn into
ritual.
animals.
No, I would say like they would need to like break down some magical items to be like, yeah, we're gonna turn your arm into, yeah,
that would
Sheer
basically,
crystal.
I would say if you wanted to do that, that would basically be like you would need any.
Huh.
You'd basically be like giving up whatever type of like magical items that you've got, and I would say
Yeah.
like per rarity, you'd be able to be like increase the club
Yep.
up to like a +3. Like if you gave up
Oh, because then you could
some
just use your
magical,
arm as a club.
yeah, like if you gave up some of your magic items, broke those down, and had some geomancer, arcanist, some like weird stone construct geomancer.
Are there any
Could,
of those in this village area?
yeah,
Probably.
you are in a Fey city. There's
Oh
all
man.
kinds of weird magical stuff.
You could just become an Earth Genasi. They like fucking create stone.
Yeah, straight up, I would say that's definitely like Earth Genasi, like Geomancer is there, who's making like magical pottery and stonework stuff, and
We
like,
have magical items. I don't even know.
We have Feybane.
oh, you've got tons of stuff. You've got like the wand, you've got the boots.
Oh, you're right. Yep.
I don't remember what else, but
So, yeah, I have the wand of magic whistles. I didn't put in the
Magic whistles or magic missiles?
whistles. Those are winged boots, right?
yeah, the winged boots. They should be in the letter I sent you with the
Yeah.
magic item cards.
I just hadn't added them to my online inventory. Yeah, winged boots and magic missiles.
Yeah,
Mm,
I would say if you gave up both of those are pretty
yeah.
fucking powerful.
Both?
I mean, they're pretty fucking strong. Um,
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's, yeah, you could cast super high level magic missile and can fly. Yeah, I would say that you could do like a +3 arm. You just have
What do you think,
you'd have
Steph?
like a gemstone arm.
Oh my
Steph, what
god.
do you think?
Um, that would be kind of cool, but
I mean,
like,
if you don't, I would say you could do pretty much any limb you want with that. If you want to roundhouse kick someone with a stone leg, or if you don't want to, like, both of you guys leave and do your separate things, and you both come back, and it's like, oh no, we did the same thing.
got him.
Yeah, but
High
you go,
five their new arms.
yeah, when you both go shopping for like new clothes for the
So,
back to school shopping, and you both show up and you're like, oh shit, we wore the
No.
same top.
It's like going to
this
prom
is
with
why.
the same dress.
Okay, have you played? You know Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Have you played Tears of the Kingdom, the second one?
I have not, but I know that he has the like stone arm thing.
That's right. So I play it every fucking day of my life, and that's why.
Here.
I'm like thinking a lot about it.
That's the griffin armor that I'm taking inspiration from.
Oh my god.
Minus the fucking weird ass helmet.
Oh.
So
Oh hell yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. That's just something that I found
Yep.
on Google. If I find a better picture, I'll post that. But that's just
Yeah, that looks like something from The Witcher.
yes, I
Sort
think
of.
it is.
Yeah, yeah.
I looked up griffin themed armor, and like that's
Really
I forgot. I literally forgot that The Witcher has that. So
Yep.
Yep.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Look in the chat. So that's quite literally what I'm picturing.
Oh,
Because I just see it all the time. And
Yeah.
I feel like in the future, I could gain other abilities with it. Not sure.
That's up for the DM to
You
decide.
have
Really?
the mechanical benefits um
Moonstone.
of the moonstone. That's sort of like you've bound it to yourself, so you've kind of
Right.
you've reached the ceiling of what it can do.
Hmm.
See.
Yeah, but I would say this would basically be like you're getting a +3 club,
Right.
or I would basically say like instead of you could modify Shillelagh and you'd have a like +3 to hit and +3 to the damage if you did this. So you could
Yeah, fuck it.
bonus
I want to do
action
it.
smack the shit out of people.
But
wanna
see,
do it.
then we're gonna go back to the party, and they're gonna be like, "But where do I get a cool arm?"
I mean,
I mean,
yeah, but
you guys are
we
just
have
lopping off limbs and giving them to Archfey. So
It was either that or fucking make a deal with one of them, and I'm like, no way. But I need
this
stuff.
opportunity is presenting itself, and I just feel like I want to do it.
Do it. Are you also gonna get your left arm chopped off or your right arm
I'm right armed.
armed? Do what you want, man.
okay, this is I mean Genasi's there, and it's just like another Archfey who's just got like this crystal afro, and he's like, yeah, one of the heroes that saved the prince. I would love an arm or a leg.
Oof.
A leg.
Both? I could do both.
No. Just turn me into a moonstone. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I can't do that. I don't have that much power. I can't transmute your body entirely.
um, yeah. Um, let's do my right forearm.
Just do your
Right
head.
forearm?
My head.
Just decapitate.
No. No, Grug. Yeah. Yeah, right forearm.
Okay, let's do a
Or
little bit of transmuting.
yeah, right forearm. I'm trying to think. My hero forge it actually is my left. It has the ornate thing on it.
Oh, that's all right. You can swap the sides.
Okay.
Says the Earth Genasi. I'm so familiar with Hero Forge, he says. He cuts to the camera. Fourth wall break.
Is it your whole arm, Seth, that you did?
Yeah. No, I think it goes up to like here.
It's your whole arm, dude.
Yeah,
No,
up to like yeah, like the top of the bicep. So you got like your shoulder, bottom of the shoulder down. So you got like deltoid and then
it's like
below.
here.
Yep.
If this is elbow.
Yeah, like you got like bottom of the deltoid and then
Damn.
rest. Yeah. I'm gonna have to wrap it up because I gotta take trash to the dump because I leave tomorrow.
That is fine.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool, guys.
So mark that stuff in your inventory, and I will see ya in 2 weeks when we come back, and do that little backstory with two half elves from the material plane that just fucking flopped out of a tapestry.
It's
Hell
really
yeah.
just a week. A week and 2 days.
Yeah, week and 2 days. Two half elves that appeared and one Shalaria that disappeared.
2.5 elves.
Well,
Elf. Ooh.
1 and 2 half elves. Technically. Okay, rad.
Charlie. All right, I'm sorry. All right. Bye, gang.
Do that with the. I did it.
Dropping the name of dragon.
In the chat?
Yeah, so you guys have the pronunciation.
Cthulhu.
Oh, did I do that with the guy? Did I trade him the wand of missiles and
Dragon's
the winged
name
boots?
is
Yep.
Kaz-
Winged boots.
Kazildrath.
Yeah.
Kazildrath.
And go ahead and you can, if you click on Shillelagh, you should be able to override some stuff. So it has like +3 to it.
To hit override?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna have it's plus whatever right now, and then add 3 to it.
Damn.
Okay.
Yep. And then additional damage override, whatever it is, plus 3.
Shit.
Okay.
All right, gang.
So you're basically
Alright.
gonna bonus action whack the shit out of people.
We love it.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna go.
All right.
Great having a session that I thought was gonna be way longer, but okay.
Way longer. It's
thought it-
almost 4 hours.
Thought this was gonna be longer.
No, I mean shorter.
Oh,
Shorter.
oh.
Of course. Yeah.
It's
I
like,
mean,
damn, Daniel. Okay.
I love the 4 hours, but
Yeah. And things move much quicker the fewer people you have.
yeah.
Oh my, so much
Is
quicker.
like a yeah. When we had 3 people, it was just like boom, boom, boom. 5 people, it's a lot of shifting.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Keep that idea of Fabane in the back pocket, because if you want to do something with that, that's an option.
I do want to
When
do
we
something
return
with
to the
that.
Cluehbridge 6.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
All right.
I will send snaps of me in various places while I'm on
Dope.
my little staycation.
Dope.
Okay, I'll see you guys.
Bye. I'm gonna go
Bye.
play
Bye.
Baldur's Gate.
I gotta go snowblow.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, I actually have to get ready for Megan to get here because she's gonna crash on the couch. So I gotta clean up.
I was gonna go to the Elks tonight, but Ben thinks he might have COVID.
No.
Yeah, he's